Enter Architects of Adventure, and welcome to RollCraft, your forge for everything TTRPG. Whether you're here to follow thrilling adventures, sharpen your skills as a player or dungeon master, or craft your own worlds from scratch, you found your party. From character creation to campaign design, dice rolls to storytelling, we're here to guide, teach, and inspire. So grab your gear, roll for initiative, and let's build something legendary together. This is RollCraft. Welcome everyone to Session 0. My name is Maris, and I will be your dungeon master for this brand new campaign. Our table's filled with old and new friends to start off this campaign, each bringing their own spark to the adventure. You'll get to know their characters, their quirks, and maybe even their chaos. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Today, we will go through the process of conducting a successful Session 0. So, Session 0. What even is this, and do I need it at my table? A Session 0 for a new campaign is a preliminary meeting or gathering that takes place before the main game sessions begin. It serves several important purposes. Character creation, setting expectations as the game master or dungeon master, world building with your players to make sure everything's collaborative, addressing boundaries and rules, especially DM rules, and then the logistics. Players can agree on scheduling, session frequency, and other logistical details to ensure everyone is on the same page. Overall, Session 0 is a crucial step in setting up a successful and enjoyable campaign for everyone involved. You don't have to do a Session 0, but it's really, really beneficial, especially for people who have never played together, and that's the case for this campaign. I, as the DM, have DM'd for every single person at this table for this campaign separately. Some of them have played together, and some of them haven't. Session 0 is a really good way for players to understand each other's play styles and understand what each other are going to be playing before the campaign starts. It makes it collaborative, and it allows for the DM to explain at least what their expectation is for the players at the table, whether it's continuing to bring new ideas, have goals, and a really heavy backstory, or just have fun and follow the basic guidelines of the table. Whatever you do at your Session 0, just make sure that everyone's comfortable and gonna have fun, because that's really, honestly, the most important part. As a DM, you want to be prepared for a Session 0. Some people call it sandbox versus railroading. I like to call it reactive versus proactive play. I get this from a book. Let me see what the reference is. It's called The Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Role-Playing. It's really, really good for not just DMs, but also reading it as a player. It's written by Jonah and Tristan Fischel, and it has some great guides on how to play a campaign that's going to lead in a fun, productive way, versus the players reacting to a story that you're telling. Proactive play lets them be proactive in making decisions rather than reacting to your story. First, you got to know the basics of your system. Most every system out there has a Dungeon Master guide, or a Game Master depending on the verbiage that you want to use. Go pick up the book, read through it. You don't have to know all the information. Get a good idea for the rules, and then maybe watch someone else play for the first time. Sometimes watching is a lot easier than reading. Seeing something being played out in action can be a really, really good learning tool. And there's a lot of options for this online. You can go watch videos, you can go watch TV shows. There's a whole bunch of resources out there for new DMs. You also need to know if you're going to be running a module or a homebrewed world. In this campaign, we'll be running a homebrewed world. I've created this, I know the factions, the leaders, the general world information, the magic, and I've created a whole pantheon. You don't need to have every single detail planned out, but you should have details planned out so that they can pull from the world that you've built. But make sure you leave space so that they can fill it in with their backstories and information that they want to put in. Up next is for you players out there. You need to be prepared. You need to have a plan. Go into the session with an idea of what kind of character you want, as long as the DM has given you guidelines before that time. If they want you to create a character day of for session 0, make sure you have a good understanding of the different classes that you're comfortable playing, the different races or species that you're comfortable playing, and make sure you have a basic understanding of the system. They'll fill in the rest. Be ready to put in some work. A character is an extension of what you're comfortable with playing. It's an extension of you and your ability to play that character. So be ready to think about motivations and goals that can feed off your character sheet and what you write in your backstory to make everything cohesive. There's a few supplies that you'll need for session 0 and probably for the rest of your sessions. Note-taking supplies, for instance. Every table should have a note taker. Bringing a spiral-bound notebook, a folder with loose leaf papers, or even getting a nice journal that you can designate for notes can be extremely beneficial, and your DM will love you if you remember little details. You'll also need a character sheet. However you best track your character sheet, make sure you can bring it and change things as you go. You want to be comfortable and familiar with what you use, so you can be familiar with it during gameplay. A DM should have access to their source books. Either physically or digitally, they should be able to access them during gameplay. The internet is always a great resource to utilize if you don't have the physical copies. I would suggest having both physical and digital, but that's just me. For high fantasy campaigns, DMs and players both need access to spells. Some digital character sheets give you access to the details of spells, and some are extremely limited. Make sure you know what your character can cast. Even if you have to write down the spells or get spell cards, know your resources. There are some DMs who like to play with maps, especially for combat, and there are some who like to do theater of the mind. At some tables, a token or miniature figurine is necessary, and other times your DM will utilize your imagination to explain the space and scene your character is in. For a lot of people, miniatures help visualize their character. And there are resources online to even design and print your own mini in resin. Sometimes they're painted, sometimes you can paint them yourself. I personally like Hero Forge, but you can always print off a picture or draw a picture of your character, tape it to a coin or a board game stand. And that's honestly good enough. I know some people that just use dice. And that brings me to dice needs. Make sure you have the dice required for the system you're using. Some systems don't use all of the dice that come in a pack at the game store. There are some systems that have specific dice that you need to purchase. And those dice you can't really find at a game store or at Walmart or Amazon. You have to buy them specifically from the distributor. So know which dice you need and make sure you have at least one set. Table rules and playstyle. Make sure you as a table go over player and DM comfortability. At some tables, topics are requested to be omitted from the game. And that's okay. I personally hate spiders, so I usually don't just keep a whole bunch of spider miniatures around to torment my players with, because I personally hate them. There's a lot of character sheet tools out there for you as a player. You can use the OG paper and pencil with all of those eraser marks on the papers. You can use the digital approach with a tablet and connecting to the Wi-Fi, or the aesthetic approach with a journal, stickers, watercolors, markers, things like that. It's really up to you what you're comfortable with. Just make sure that you have a character sheet because it's the most important thing for your character. This campaign started off by building a Discord server and providing information for character creation before session 0. I told them have an idea of what you might want to play, and then we'll flesh everything else out at session 0. There's an extreme amount of freedom in where each character can be from, what cultures they are raised in, and what morals they hold fast to. While you begin to think about building a character, don't feel restricted by fear of a lack of cohesion. I also told them what playable races I was comfortable with in this campaign, including a homebrew race called Raoden, which are like the children of the gods. They're similar to a demigod with less ability. We went over table rules and which system we'll be using, which is the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, 2014, and the 2024 rules. We're kind of Frankensteining them together because I think that there are good rulings in both. We also went over races, classes, and backgrounds that I'm comfortable with, and I told them to get a backstory prepared. Now, going back to that book that I originally told you guys about, The Game Master's Handbook of Proactive Roleplay by Jonah and Tristan Fishel, they encourage character goals. Now, in the book, they define it as 3 different types of goals: long-term goals, mid-term goals, and short-term goals. And I quote in the book, long-term goals are usually what the campaign is about in a grand sense, so completing them should be the primary driver of your campaign. Long-term goals can be as cosmic as ascend to godhood, or as personal as learn to love again. Midterm goals will take some time to complete and may be impossible without gaining power, skills, or hard-to-find information. Consider anything that will take more than 6 play sessions to complete to be a midterm goal. A short-term goal can be completed in just a few play sessions, and the character is usually powerful enough to tackle it right away. All of this information is found on page 27 of this book. RollCraft is not sponsored by this company. I just really like the information that they have. I loved the book itself. I suggest all DMs should read this. And if players want to, the first chapter is really, really great. And if you want to become a DM, I suggest it. A RollCraft campaign. Emergence of the Divided Empire. The party will be starting in Thayloran Empire, a land vast enough to cradle mountains and grasslands, coastlines and forests, all under the same sky. From the frost-bitten highlands of the north to the swamp deltas in the south, the country is a patchwork of terrain as varied as its people. Cultures converge and collide here, languages shift by the valley, meals change with the soil, and beliefs rise from the ground like the hills themselves. Unity is rare, but resilience is common. Just under 600 miles from the southern coast to the northern coast, the Thayloran Empire holds many kingdoms under a single emperor. The Thayloran Empire is bordered by the Kingdom of Islwyn to the east and the Kindrath lands to the northwest. The borders of Varanath abut Islwyn from the northeast, and the island of Eldaris sits just west of the coast, acting as a sisterland to the Empire, home of the elves. Thayloran is just coming out of a great civil war. After the Emperor unexpectedly died, he left a child. Too young to rule, the Emperor's Council of Elders began to train the young child, but found discourse amongst the higher-ranking citizens of the Empire. The question that haunted everyone was, will the new leader be able to fill their father's shoes at such a young age? A few squabbles broke out, turning into larger fights, and then ultimately factions broke throughout the Empire, turning into a full-blown civil war. That war lasted 15 years, with much assistance from powerful factions who wanted cohesion again, and from the Council of Elders under the Empire. Control and order was set back into place. This campaign is set in the aftermath of the war. With the Empire being rebuilt, kingdoms working together once more, and a new leader being placed on the Emperor's throne, no one knows what's going to happen. Anything could happen. And hopefully, our characters are going to have a hand in it. I created my own pantheon for this campaign, and I usually do it for every campaign. It allows me freedom in my deities and helps me not have any restrictions on how I want to play them. I also like to use AI to generate images that are humanoid in nature, but have this kind of sense of deity to them. I have the 4 main elemental deities: Terra, the Root Father; Ma'im, the Tide Father; Ere, the roaming gale; and Ignis, the Ember Queen. Similar to the Titans of the Greek pantheon, they have much more direct relationship with nature. Then I have the prime deities. We have Vita, the Life-Bringer; Moros, the Death Warden; Yendi, the Beast Keeper; Tempest, the Timekeeper; Equinox, the Change-Bringer; Bellum, the Star-Keeper; Zephyr, the Thunderheart; Virulin, the Blooming Path; Mithandrax, the Dragon Lord; Seraphine, the Veiled Truth; Kelthar, the Crimson General; Veltris, the Shifting Jest; Leora, the Radiant Muse; and Meridol, the Wandering Coin. Then I have the Betrayer deities. Some of these guys are just fallen deities, and some of them are manifestations of a concept, an idea, or an emotion. There's Tharos, the Seeing End; Varkun, the Flame that Devours; Lysira, the Whispering Coil; Nazal, the Drowned Mother; Morvek, the Chain Father; Elzul, the Hollow Star; and Dreadmorn, the Scourge Unending. Now, some of the deities have children called the Children of the Divine Blood, or better known as Raoden. Raoden are the rare offspring of gods, literal children of divine beings who walk the line between mortal and celestial. Born with radiant wings and a glimmer of their parents' power in their blood, Raoden often find themselves torn between destiny and desire, reverence and resentment. Most Raoden appear strikingly humanoid, though ethereal, radiant, and possessing great wings of light, mist, fire, or shadow, depending on their divine lineage. While they look like mortals, they age like demigods, often grappling with existential questions from a young age. Most Raoden don't live past 600, but some die young because they have a tendency to get into fights or into battles and get killed. I almost always start with a map. I personally like to draw, but starting with a map for me isn't just about the artistry behind it. It's also about seeing where everything is supposed to be. I break up nations, countries, I put mountains, places, and rivers, large lakes, fjords, deserts, anything that I can think of that might be an interesting place for them to go to or for me to hide something. That's what I'll put into my map. From there, I name things: kingdoms, biomes, anything that I can find that looks interesting, I'll name it something. It doesn't mean that I have to have a lot of information about that place. It just means that it's been defined as a kingdom, a large village, a city, a ruined temple, or even a shrine to some lost deity that once was over this part of the country. Let's talk about our map. I created the map myself. I usually start off by creating a map for most of my stories, It helps me visualize where I want the story to go, or helps me unfold pieces of the story that I don't know yet. Our story starts on a continent called Mundus. Think of it as the main stage where everything kicks off. It's made up of several nations, each with their own culture, politics, and personality. As we go through them, I'll give you a sense of what makes each place unique and why they matter in the bigger picture. Now, Mundus is where our adventure begins, but it's not the whole world. Beyond its borders, there are other lands, seas, and places we may or may not get to explore later, or maybe in a different campaign. So for now, we'll focus on Mundus as our starting point, knowing the world stretches much further, but zooming in on this one piece. The campaign will be starting in the Thaloran Empire, which is the biggest chunk of Mundus, right in the center piece. When you look at the map, which will be uploaded onto our Patreon, there's going to be copies of it on our Instagram at times. We'll give you different versions of it, whether it be a PDF form that you can download and look at, or just a picture like a JPEG up on our Instagram. You'll be able to see what we're seeing. Thaloran Empire is where we're going to start. It's the biggest chunk of Mundus, right in the center of the continent. There's very, very clear borders between the locations, and it's huge. It's bordered by the Kingdom of Isilwyn to the east, and Kendrath lands to the northwest. The island of Eldaris sits just west of the coast, and it acts as a sister land to the Empire. It's not connected by any means. It's a very small island, and it houses mostly elves. The borders of Varanath abut Isilwyn to the northeast, and are cut off from that part of Mundus by really just mountains. They're not even attached to the rest of the continent by anything except for a small strip of land. The Thaloran Empire is where we're going to start the campaign, so I'll start off by giving you information from there first. The empire is broken up into multiple kingdoms or regions. Similarly to like the Roman Empire, there are kingdoms in different parts of the empire with a ruling figure on the seat. Some of them are actually kings, and some of them are more lords or council of elves in some of the elven regions. The halflings don't have kings. Their structure is a little bit different than everywhere else. The same thing goes with the gnomes, and we can get to that maybe in another conversation. On top of all of the kings, there is the emperor, and it's been one family since the beginning, the Valos line. They rose from the chaos of the sundering of just open land to unify a fractured people. Each generation of that family left its mark through strength, cunning, or wisdom, and each carried the weight of sacrifice and tragedy through that, just as any emperor would. Emperor Virel Valos was the founder of the empire. He was the first generation. He was a warrior statesman who fought as much as he negotiated. Ruthless when necessary, but deeply loyal to his allies. His notable achievements during his reign were obviously defeating the last of the warlords during the Sundering. He forged the first Accords of Dawn's Reach, which bind the clans and the kingdoms under a single banner. And he established the Imperial Legion as a standing army. Now, that army was supposed to protect anyone within the Empire from anything outside of the Empire. His legacy was, he was feared and respected, but never loved the way his descendants were. People called him the Black Lion for his commanding presence. The second generation was Emperor Darius Valos. Darius inherited his father's empire. He did not inherit his iron will. Instead, he relied on rigid structure and order. He was stern, uncompromising, and deeply traditional. He saw treachery everywhere, and he wasn't entirely wrong. He strengthened the imperial code of law. He pushed for centralization, demanding oaths of loyalty from the nobles that weakened regional independence. And he survived 3 assassination attempts before finally falling to the 4th. His legacy was interesting. They called him the Iron Crown, remembered for his harsh justice. Many nobles still resent his reign, though others admire the stability he forced. His queen, Lysera, unlike her husband, became a unifying figure. She was beloved for her wisdom and diplomacy. She now quietly mentors all of the heirs after her. She's a big part of diplomacy within and a part of the council. The third generation is Emperor Aurelian Valos. Aurelian shifted the empire from conquest and law into philosophy and balance. He had the reputation of being the philosopher king, a voice of reason who sought unity, not through fear but through understanding. His notable achievements are establishing the Council of Crowns, giving regional rulers more voice within the empire. He advocated for religious tolerance and cultural exchange, which greatly enriched the empire's art and trade and magic. Personally mediated dozens of conflicts that could have escalated to civil war, and he had a beautiful legacy. They called him the Silver Mantle. He was remembered as noble, wise, and selfless, though some whisper that his ideals left the empire vulnerable. His queen, Eleneth, was a warrior queen, and she was from Isilwyn. She wasn't even from Thalorin. She embodied fire and ferocity. Her death in childbirth left Aurelian without his fiercest ally, and I think that broke him down quite a bit. Within the empire, there are quite a few different kingdoms. So first we have the kingdom of Eredor. Eredor is rugged, the northern kingdom carved from glacial valleys, storm-racked coastlines, and pine-covered mountains. Its people are stoic, hardworking, and fiercely loyal, shaped by blizzards, beasts, and war. The land breeds resilience, and the throne is earned through strength, honor, and sacrifice. While magic is not outlawed in the north, it is distrusted unless it is proven useful in defense, survival, healing, or war, obviously. Eredor's nobility does not sit idle in court. They wear armor over silk and call themselves stewards of the realm's survival. We have the kingdom of Grenendath. From stone and oath they endure. Grenendath is one of the oldest surviving human kingdoms in the known world, a mountainous realm of green stone keeps, terraced valleys, fortified river cities, and deep tradition. Once considered the heart of an ancient empire, Grenendath is a place where duty, law, and legacy are prized above all. Its culture is built around the ideals of order, honor, craftsmanship, and stewardship of the land. Though the scars of the 15-year civil war still linger, Grenendath has emerged as a kingdom of firm resolve and cautious diplomacy. Next is the kingdom of Felthoril. Felthoril is a peaceful, prosperous kingdom, situated across lush meadows, temperate forests, and fertile farmland. Known for its refined culture, abundant harvests, and scholarly institutions, Felthoril is often called the breadbasket of the realms. But beneath its pastoral beauty lies a quiet strength, a nation built on old oaths, sacred groves, and the belief that peace is something you nurture, not assume. While less militarized than its neighbors, Felthoril is defended by ranger scouts, beastmasters, and druids, who know every tree, stream, and ridge. The next is Kingdom of Niseun. Niseun is a kingdom made up of 5 major islands and several smaller islands located just off the northern coast of Thalorin. Though isolated by treacherous waters and powerful sea storms, Niseun has long been a seafaring power. Known for its sorcerous traditions, storm-forged ships, and deep pact with the sea. Each island has its own distinct character, governance, and loyalties. United under a central monarch, but often quarreling like siblings. What binds them is more ancient than blood. the Tide Compact, a pact said to have been made with a sea god or a primordial leviathan. From there, you have the Revensail Forest, Briar's Reach, Harrowmere, Galabas. There's so much space, and it is broad, and the Empire is coming off of something dangerous. 15 years of discourse. Now, the land of Isilwyn is rugged and a proud ally to the Empire. It's a land of resilience, arcane study, and volcanic beauty. It's a sovereign realm forged from volcanic soil, blackened stone, and burning skies. While smaller in scale, Isilwyn is a respected ally known for its unshakable independence, an arcane mastery that no other nation has except for maybe the elves. Its people live alongside roaring magma vents, black cliffs, and desert winds, and they thrive. Rather than bow to imperial rule, Isilwyn forged a mutual alliance long ago, bound by respect, trade, and shared defense against greater threats. Isilwyn is defined by its harsh yet striking landscape, created by long, dormant volcanism and powerful elemental activity. It stretches from the scorched dunes to the Obsidian Lyceum, which is a legendary school of arcane mastery carved directly into a cooled caldera of obsidian and basalt. There's Stolkhelm, the capital city and industrial heart of Isilwyn. Ashglen Vale is a rare fertile crescent of blackened soil and hot springs kept by druidic cultivation. It supplies most of Isilwyn's food and medicine, and it's heavily protected and revered. The Ember Vault is a vault prison deep beneath Stokhelm for unstable magical artifacts and high-risk criminals. Wardens are trained mages and rune knights known as the Ashguard. Many of the residents of Isilwyn are nomadic. They live out in the sands and the dunes. They have found a home and thrived under the sun. Even though it's hot and can be unforgiving, they've found rest and peace here. Isilwyn is very unique. It's a fun corner of the world that they may get to travel in, and I hope you get to learn more about it. Varanath is a cold, mountainous land, once governed by the Council of Novum, 9 arcane users. Their internal rivalries and thirst for power fractured them, leading to the War of the Novum. The council dissolved eventually, and the land fell into shadow and some silence. The northern coast of Varanath is jagged and treacherous, but crucial to sea trade and defense of the land. Ancient towers and newer arcane bastions dot the cliffs. Varanath shares its southern borders with Isilwyn. The tension between the two nations is extremely high. Not much is known of Varanath after the fall of the Novum, so hopefully you guys get to learn a little bit more about it. Eldaris is the home of the high elven blood families, and they have their own kings and leadership, their own councils, their own way of life. They tend to assist the Empire in a lot of ways similar to like an older brother would. Not much is known about Eldaris and the elves. It's more of folk tales and stories that some people believe fully and others don't. There are mountainous ranges, beautiful schools of arcane, palaces of white marble strewn about the land. It's one of the most ancient parts of my map. And then almost opposite of Eldaris is the Kendrith lands, the wild expanse of storm and stone. Kendrith is a vast, storm-swept expanse where the land itself seems alive with restless power. Stretching across rolling highlands, jagged mountains, and endless plains, it's a place where survival depends on strength, cunning, and community. With no king, no empire, and no central council, the Kendrathi live scattered among clans and tribes and nomadic bands. Each holds to its own laws and traditions, often clashing with neighbors, but united by a fierce spirit of freedom. Kendrath is a lot like the Empire was before the Empire was established. Thalorn was once just as wild as Kendrath, but now pushes back against Kendrath and their ways. The chaos behind their borders seems immature. The people there include Goliaths and orcs, human ranger bands, rock gnomes, mercenaries, elemental cultists, wandering mystics, even druids live there. There's a lot of power that isn't tapped into by any one group. Somehow they work, and somehow they constantly are fighting. Now that you have a better understanding of what the land looks like, let's give a little bit more detail of the arcane under the surface. Mundus has a living current. In this world, arcana is not an abstract force or invisible energy. It's a tangible elemental substance, often called the current, or the weave, or simply the arcane. Like lightning or plasma, it surges, pulses, and crackles with volatile potential. It can be seen, touched with great risk, and even stored or redirected with the right tools or magical aptitude. There's elemental energy, which is arcane behaves like living form of lightning. It arcs between objects, pools in ley lines, and crackles around spellcasters when their power is charged. It emits a violet blue glow, a hum in the air, or a static charge on the skin in high concentration. Ley lines and apex. The world's natural crust is laced with arcane conduits, like lightning buried in stone. These ley lines converge in an arcane apex, where the current is especially potent, ideal for rituals and pure forms of arcana, but are extremely dangerous and have ancient protectors stationed at each one, placed there by the gods. Spellcasting as conduction. Mages are like conductors or transformers of arcana. Their focuses, like wands, staves, tattoos, etc., are trained to withstand and direct this energy, channeling it into structured forms, or sometimes known as spells. Untrained individuals might be burned or shattered by trying to touch raw arcane current. There are even times when a spellcaster isn't prepared for the conduct of arcana, resulting in physical harm to the body. In rare, dangerous events, arcane energy can build up in the atmosphere and discharges like a magical thunderstorm. Bolts of spell-like effect rain down randomly. There's also crystallized arcana. In some regions, arcana condenses into crystalline form. Arcanite, mana glass, or sparkstone, used for fuel, enchantments, or dangerous black market drugs and potions, can be found deep within mines, in the rocks of mountains, kind of like crystals or gold veins in the earth. There are 9 schools of magic for this world. The School of Abjuration, which is like protection and banishment. School of Illusion, for deception and trickery. School of Enchantment, which is charming and influencing minds. School of Divination is revealing secrets and future sight. School of Evocation, elemental damage and blasting. School of Transmutation, changing matter and energy. School of Necromancy, which is life, death, and undeath. School of Conjuration, which is summoning and teleportation. And then lastly, School of Volutation, which is chaos magic. These 9 are represented in multiple different ways, in multiple different colors, and in multiple different classes that players can choose when they create a character. You'll see the differences between these when people cast spells. You can go into any of the spells 4 magic users, and each one has a school of magic specifically connected to it. We're going to roll stats doing a standard array. For these characters, sometimes DMs will do like a 4d6, drop the lower. It really depends on the DM. Just make sure that you guys communicate before you start rolling stats to make sure everyone's being cohesive. Okay, so we're gonna do one-on-ones. Let's start off with the one who has the most fleshed out, and then we'll go to the one who has the least fleshed out so you have the most time. I'm gonna have you guys leave the room. Make sure you guys have a fleshed out understanding of what you want to communicate with me on the one-on-one, and then from there, try and have an idea of your goals as well. Write them out. Anything else that you want to make sure that you add or ask questions specifically about the world, feel free to write those down and we'll talk about it, okay? Okay, great. We will try to do no more than 30 minutes to 45 minutes per person.
Hi guys, this is Keegan. This is Maris's brother. We've been wanting to do this podcast for a while.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing professional dungeon master.
Oh, stop.
So I've had a character put together for a while because we've been kind of dreaming about this for a minute.
Yeah.
So,
and he's like super fleshed out.
Yeah. He's very connected.
Which I love. I'm super excited.
He is very motivated, I would say.
Extremely. I'm going to pull up some stuff to take notes. So if you hear me clicking around, that's on my computer. Remind me, you sent me a Google Doc, correct?
I believe it was in Discord.
Is it Discord? Okay.
I think so.
Everybody did something different for their characters. So I want to make sure.
And that would be something for any new players to think about is there are different ways to build characters. You have people such as myself that have an idea, and we'll go into further episodes of more direct how to build unique characters and stuff. This is a very basic session 0, but for me, started really early and had a character idea in mind or had kind of the direction I wanted to go and then fleshed it out. And you have other characters that wait until they come to the table to hear what others are doing so that they can be cohesive.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a good range with our party today.
Yeah. Why don't you introduce your character, race, class, kind of the background name, and then we'll talk about what you want to talk about. Maybe do some stat stuff.
Yeah.
Feats and such.
So my character, his name is Vitraxio. Most people just call him V because most names that I make are hard to pronounce.
Did you have a last name for him?
That was something that I was going to come up with you.
Okay.
Because of his inheritor background and his family history. Right. They are kind of a well-renowned mage lineage. Mm-hmm. So maybe something that can connect into the world.
Okay.
He is from Isolwyn, I think. Isolwyn. Yep, Isolwyn. So more of a desert area. I think more before a little bit of the modernization of this kind of high fantasy, when there was a little bit more, I guess, nomadic necessity. That was his people, but they have now settled into their own kingdom, their own lands. So
pulling up the map, you're looking to the east of Thaloran. Isolwyn is a lot of desert. You're looking at if you know America super well, you're looking at like much more sand dunes of like southern Utah, and then kind of a little bit of grassland, but not a ton. There are some trees, but it's a lot of sagebrush, and then the sand dunes are really, really big. So you're going to have that hot, dry desert.
Yeah, it's looking like a lot of crevasses, lots of foothills coming into the mountains, not a lot of water. Pretty harsh land, but they were able to carve out a living and a legacy there, it seems.
Yeah, there's definitely multiple oases hidden away.
Yeah,
and people have found refuge, but also wealth in the desert.
Yeah.
If you look for it, you can find it.
Absolutely. He is, to start, a... Would you like me to go through the class?
Yeah, for sure.
So to start, he is a magic caster, sorcerer. So his stats will probably be leaning more into charisma. Mm-hmm. But we're going to have a little goofy potential multi-class down the road.
Which I'm stoked for.
Yeah, we shall see how this goes. So I am going to have to be very strategic in how I place my stats. So that he's not completely a limp noodle when it comes to combat in the beginning, so that I can be efficient later, but also not efficable as multi-classed later down the road. So this is going to be a little bit of a bob and weave kind of mentality with my stats here. So sorcerer subclass, I'm not sure yet. We're obviously starting at level 1, so that's going to be a little while, but potentially wild magic, depending on how far we can make it.
Yeah. Hey, and for those DMs out there who are listening for Session 0 information, I have these cute little cards that I got at the local game store from topdoggames.net, and it literally has all of the character information that you as the DM would need, along with stats information. I'd use a pencil, mark it all in, and then put it up on my DM screen. Super, super helpful for, instead of calling out like, hey, what's your AC, or hey, what's your HP, or what's your passive wisdom or passive perception, it has all that information right there, and I have them update it at every level so that I have the correct information. Really beneficial. They have it for monsters, NPCs, all that stuff, but just wanted to call them out and say that's what I use, and I think it's really important to have your character's information if you get the chance. So we have your name, your class. Did you say our race?
Oh, yes. So if you're cool with it, I will let the audience know the little goofiness that's going on, but the other players will not know. So you listeners, make sure you don't tell them. So he is actually a variant tiefling.
It's gonna be fun.
He is visibly not noticeable as a tiefling, other than in very special situations. He might have a slight glint in his eye, a little glow, or potentially more pronounced canine teeth, but very, very, very mild. The reason I went with this is to be seen later.
I like it. Did you have an alignment set up? I don't think you had anything written down, and I want to make sure.
Yeah, we really haven't come together with anything, and that was something that I thought maybe I could talk to you. I really don't like super chaotic characters personally.
That's fair.
Just because I write very fleshed out backstories, obviously. And
just because you can have chaotic tendencies doesn't mean you're completely chaotic.
Right. And I think that kind of railroads me into feeling like I need to play them like a goober.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you are goofy for sure.
Absolutely. 100%. But to some degree, I think we have, a tendency to overplay if we label ourselves.
Yep.
Chaos.
Sorry.
Absolute
I
chaos.
completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I've had some really, really chaotic characters in the back, and I, in my back story, goodness sakes, I can't speak today. But if you don't feel like chaos is your potion, don't take it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Based off of your backstory, we don't have to go into it too much. I know that you're an inheritor and kind of like a haunted one, exiled concept.
Kind of vibe, yep.
And you went to school. Are you wanting to have some kind of lawful, whether it be following the law of the land or rather a law?
Just a rule,
Oh, yeah.
some sort of rule. Yes, and I think with his backstory later down the road, there will have to be some sort of law,
right?
Or some sort of order. So I would say lawful for sure.
If you were born into an esteemed mage family, you're definitely going to have rules and regulations within that family.
Right, exactly.
Expectations of maybe your parents or of grandparents, like this is tradition, this is what we do. So lawful will definitely be good. And that's the nice thing about lawful is it doesn't have to be based off of like the law of the land.
Right.
It can be based off like a personal law.
Personal order.
As long as it's very, very direct and strict for you alone.
Now, that being said, a lawful good would probably be somebody who would also obey the law of the land.
Yeah.
That would probably be their order.
Yeah. Morally speaking, they're very direct.
Right. like a very classic paladin
For
or
sure.
cleric character. He's relatively charismatic, just mechanically speaking.
Mhm.
Living in a different land and being slightly, his heritage being slightly nomadic, I would think something more neutral. But yeah, what do you think? Knowing his backstory, what would you suggest?
Well, I think it's a little bit less about where you're coming from, because I think that's where the lawful comes in.
Yeah.
Where the other side needs to be about where you're going or what your goal is to go towards.
Got ya. Yeah. So, just for the new players, what are some of the options? We've got lawful, we've got chaotic, we've got neutral
Mm-hmm.
on the one side.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, we've got good, we've got evil, we've got neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else inside of that in between?
Let me make sure that I know. Let's see, lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil.
Right.
I'm gonna look it up just to make sure that I'm giving you all the correct information here.
For those that are new, you can also choose kind of doubling up on things.
Mm-hmm.
Neutral is generally something that we don't like to play.
True neutral.
Neutral, just because there is to some degree no motivation.
Exactly.
But there is potential. And I know there have been characters that have been played very well when they're neutral, but true neutral is a very you have to be relatively seasoned player to know how to play that properly.
Exactly. A true neutral character is similar to like a Treebeard in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who they don't really have much of an alignment. They don't really have like a sway on either side, and they're kind of stuck in the mud.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to go through all of them, the lawful good is obsessive selflessness, always sprinting to cries of distress, kind of like a Superman figure.
Mm-hmm.
A neutral good is more of a will calm the child but will not get the cat out of the tree kind of figure. And a chaotic good will use any means to save the day if they want to save the day. But that's based off of if they want to do it.
That's a fun one. Yes.
A lot of chaotic good characters come out, and chaotic neutral. Chaos is just so much fun when you're playing a fictional character. Lawful neutral, they usually believe in justice, believe in the law, but they do what they're told a lot of times, but they don't have as much drive as the lawful good. The true neutral, again, they steer clear of moral tests, and they don't really take sides, which can be boring, kind of like a Cheshire cat. They're just going through life.
There to be there.
Mm-hmm. Chaotic neutral, they follow the whims of their own hearts. They take care of themselves. They're very spontaneous, kind of like a Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Lawful evil, honestly, they're the bad guy, but the bad guy with the sense of reason, kind of
Order.
like a Darth Vader figure. He's bad, but he also has like direction. Neutral evil, I would say, is honestly one of the most dangerous. They do what they want with only them in mind. Predictable but dangerous, kind of like a Voldemort.
Sociopath.
It's really, really terrible. And then a chaotic evil, I think are fun, but
yes.
I don't let them at my table for multiple reasons. They run. They just run. They assume they're psychopaths, violent for no reason, kind of like a Moriarty in the Sherlock Holmes. They're just bad people.
Yeah. Or a Joker.
Or a Joker. They're just not great. At this table, we will not be allowing any of the evil characters. We talked about maybe the lawful evil, but honestly, none of the players want to dabble in it. And we reserve those for the big bads.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to try to do.
Realistically, at this point, and I've always seen alignment as a fluid thing.
Mm-hmm.
Your alignment can change depending on how the campaign goes.
Yeah, for sure.
I've played lawful good characters that have become chaotic good.
Yeah.
And then neutral good.
Mm-hmm.
And then lawful neutral. So I think there's some fluidity to it right now in his backstory and where he is in the phase of the story that we want to tell. Mm-hmm. I would say probably lawful neutral.
Okay.
Just because he came out of school, he's young. He is, used to being told what to do.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't know his identity very well quite yet. But he does know what he needs to do at the moment.
Yeah. I think that's wise. I think it's a good decision. And if it changes, it changes. And
right.
we can...
Yeah. We roll with it, right?
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah. And alignments aren't something that you need to like stick strictly to, but you need to keep into consideration how you want to play the character.
It's a guideline.
And this is one of those like title pages. Like, this is kind of how I want the character to be seen. And if I need to change it in the future, I can. Okay. I like it. So, I don't know how in-depth you want to go into the backstory on air, because I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit more. But
we can touch on it a little bit.
Okay.
I think just giving kind of for leading up to a session 1, we need to know exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
So the school that I mentioned, what have we decided on a name for that school?
I haven't given a name to it yet. I wanted to make sure that it was in the right place on the map before I gave anything, because it's kind of a thematic name.
Absolutely.
Do you have any ideas?
So
I definitely want you to have some input on that one.
The Obsidian Lyceum was a pretty solid name that kind of came to mind. Is very ominous, yet sounds very arcane.
Yeah.
So I think that one can work in any location, because it is relatively vague as well.
For sure.
It's not like Snowborn Keep or something,
It's like, that's definitely in the north.
Oh, right. Like it can kind of go wherever we want.
Right.
V's essentially history is he's part of a family that is arcane, very talented in the arcane.
Mm-hmm.
He has older siblings that were successful in the Obsidian Lyceum and other, I guess you would say, grad programs, and they have jobs throughout the land, and we can figure that out down the road. But he was kind of the last in line, expected to move forward into the same business, and he did. Obviously, he went to school, and he was sent there with a childhood friend of his,
which I love.
Yep, Kaylin, and she was similar. She was a middle child, so she didn't have, she's not the young child, but they are the same age, grew up together, and she was very talented, and he not so much. He kind of struggles to tamper with the weave.
Mm-hmm.
There's some interesting interrelational, I guess, quirks there where he might feel inferior,
right?
But never in the sense that she was lording it over him. It was always trying to help him and trying to include him, even though he was a little slow on the uptake when it comes to the arcane. Quite charismatic still, obviously, and he does have raw talent, but he just has a hard time grasping the control.
Were his teachers ever like, you're your struggle child?
I think there was a level of undertoned judgment. So undertones of judgment, because they had probably been the professors for his siblings in the past, seeing them be very successful,
right,
and seeing him kind of struggle along. I think they saw that he was very passionate and wanted to succeed,
right.
So they didn't kind of rag on him a lot, but there was a level of disappointment, the tisk, the side eye, like, oh, that's interesting kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was a situation that happened during a what you would call it, a ball or a student's gathering. Let me see. Let's see if I can see the Frostfall Masquerade. So this would be during kind of the winter season, of course. Right. We can always name it something else.
No, I love it.
During, depending on the region. But the Frostfall Masquerade, something you think Harry Potter, very
sure.
Going and dancing as awkward kids. Yep, awkward kids dancing. And he and Kaylin definitely went together as
friends.
BFFs, right? And I think she probably could have gotten anybody she wanted, in the nerd realm. I mean, I guess it's a complete nerd realm because it's a school of magic.
Right.
So she was probably scoffed a little bit at because she went with this goober.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, they went, and there was a little bit of a happening. The school was, you could say, attacked.
Yeah.
I don't know how far we want to go into it.
That's up to you.
I would say that at this point, we were at the masquerade ball,
Mm-hmm.
Frostfall Masquerade, at the Obsidian Lyceum, and we'll just read through what I wrote. How about that? So
if you want to spread the tale, go ahead.
Let's spread the tale a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
We're not going to get into a lot of his the happenings with him directly, but we'll kind of get a lay of the land here. So everything changed the night of the Frostfall Masquerade. The winter formal for the students of the Obsidian Lyceum was underway. As the snow fell on the windswept coast, a fissure in space appeared. A secret cabal of red wizards slithered from the fissure and infiltrated the masquerade. Unbeknownst to the students or the professors, they made their way into the school. Using its confluence of power, they conjured a conduit that opened a rift to the 9 hells. Chaos tore through the school, screams, infernal fire, spells unraveling midair. As the rift exploded in a cataclysmic flare, V watched in horror as Kaelwyn was dragged through a teleportation circle cast by one of the red wizards. V scrambled through the fire, screaming her name, only to collapse under a falling beam as the world turned white. He awoke, buried beneath ash, as the Lyceum gone, only a scorched crater in its place. Everyone else, students, instructors, even the earth itself, was simply gone. V, reaching into the sky, howled in helplessness as cold flakes of snow stuck to his face and hair. As time passed, V was blamed. The arcane circles of the world, eager for a scapegoat, condemned him. His family disowned him. His name became synonymous with tragedy and failure. Ostracized, haunted by whispers of his disgrace, V vanished from the world that once embraced him. So this character is really dejected. He was an inheritor of this legacy and was struggling along with grim determination to succeed and to live up to expectations. And I truly believe he probably would have. He definitely would have made it happen. He would have had to put in the hours, put in the work, but with
he
Kaelwyn,
had the drive.
Yeah. Kaelwyn at his side, really, I think he could have made it happen. But yeah, tends to when you build a house out of glass cards, things tend to crash into it.
Yeah.
So he, right now his main short-term goal right now, I think, is to try to make some money, because his mid goal really is to make it home. He needs to make it home and try to cobble together his identity and prove his innocence to some degree.
Okay. So long term would be not only figure out who he is in the world, but also who he is in the family. Yes.
And I would even consider that, in his mind, that is of paramount importance, but it is not the razor's edge, the sharp, mind-splitting goal, which is to find where the crap his friend went.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Completely.
So
let's add it.
I think she disappearing brings up questions. Red wizards are classically evil.
Mm-hmm.
There was no questions. There was no torture. There was no. Seemingly, they came in like a bolt of lightning directed at her,
right,
with no deviation, and then left. So they knew what they were there for.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they wanted, and we shall see what that is.
Okay.
Those are his goals right now. He is hobbling along on his limited magical capabilities.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to him, he's just a human guy. He has no idea his legacy or his even his genetic predisposition.
Yeah.
It is of complete. He's completely oblivious to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I think we can flesh out some more midterm and short-term goals as we start the
absolutely.
campaign, but these are good starters for sure.
Good bones.
It's definitely really, really good to have a few solid long terms when you start out and then figure out as you go. A lot of times midterm goals are just the steps to long-term goals.
Absolutely.
And then short terms are, again, even
side
smaller
quests.
steps.
You have your main quest, right, and your long campaign quest, but your main quest points are kind of your mid goals, and then your side quests are things that can kind of help you along the way.
Exactly.
And those are your short-term goals.
Exactly.
For you video game nerds.
Okay, so I think we've talked about character quite a bit.
Yes.
Let's talk about stats and such.
Yes, this is where it gets a little dicey. We need to figure out some stuff.
Yeah. We got to figure out AC. We've got to figure out HP. We got to figure out your spell stuff and your stats.
Yes.
Do you have your character sheet pulled up?
I do. I use D&D Beyond. We are not sponsored by them or by any means, in unison with them or correlated with them. But I love their system, and it's not everybody's thing. Some people like the old pen and paper, but I'm really picky about how my paper looks. I don't like it all smudgy, and my characters tend to change a lot. So I like the digital because it's nice and clean, and I can go in and make changes as needed.
Yeah, for sure.
I have, we're doing standard array.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some basic ideas for my stat block, because first and foremost, Variant Tiefling has some basic ability score improvement boons.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you like to start? Would you like to start with the ability scores? Would you like to start with racial features and stuff? How would you like to go about it?
Let's see what D&D Beyond has, because I like to go in order for them.
Okay, so let's go to, if you have D&D Beyond, we will go to our main characters page, pick the character that you have if you already have them created. If you don't, you can always write a new one. Class is Sorcerer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Level 1.
Now, D&D Beyond has this cool thing where it tells you what you need to pick, the different choices you have to make for your first level Sorcerer.
Yes.
So what choices did you make for those?
So, core Sorcerer traits. As a level 1 character, gain all the traits in the core Sorcerer traits table. And it'll give you a little table below. So it's got a long list, and we can kind of go through our proficiencies. So skill proficiencies. I chose just kind of on a fly because I knew we were going to do this. I chose Arcana, but I'm not exactly sure that is in line with my character.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't have that much knowledge. Even though he's a student, he wasn't really the star pupil.
So something maybe like an insight or persuasion. Religion doesn't make a lot of sense because he's definitely more in the highbrow arcane society, which is more of your, I would say, agnostic or atheist sort of theists. Deception doesn't seem like his personality. So I'm thinking maybe insight.
Insight or persuasion are really, really good for like a mage family. For like a family that's high up, you have to have specific strategy against other nobility.
Right.
So either of those, honestly, are really good choices.
And then secondary, we have, again, Arcana, Deception, Persuasion, Religion, but also Intimidation.
Oh, interesting.
Playing into his later roles, I think Intimidation might be something that could be latent.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe he has an unknown, like, rage situation that he taps into that he doesn't understand why.
Yeah, like an aura where people, maybe that's why his professors weren't blatantly in his face because they saw this determination and it was a little intimidating.
I like it. Okay.
So moving down the line, we've got spellcasting. This is essentially just saying at first level, you gain spellcasting.
Right.
You draw on your innate magic and you cast spells, cantrips, spell slots, all of that fun stuff. We won't go into depth. If you go into your app, it will show you descriptions for all of this stuff if you are new. Otherwise, if you know what you're doing, move on along.
Yeah. Books have all this information as well if you're not using the app.
Yes, books have all this information. So this also talks about innate sorcery. So this is kind of getting into the class a little bit more. We have a font of magic as a sorcerer based off our charisma, and it really kind of wells up within us. Some of the things that it gives us: the spell save DC of your sorcerer spells increases by 1. We have advantage on the attack rolls of sorcerer spells you cast with this innate sorcery ability. And you can use this feature twice, and you regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest.
Okay, great.
So that is all I've got.
Okay. Background doesn't give you anything specific. Race does. We do know that. So let's go to
species.
race.
Yep. So skipping background into species, I chose variant tiefling. We talked about the appearance. Appearances, you can roll for it, or you can just kind of choose what you want and just talk to your DM. Intelligence score increases by 1, and your charisma score increases by 2. So that should go well with sorcerer.
Okay, so let's go to the abilities tab.
Okay.
And
we're going to do a standard array.
Standard array.
Right?
Now, what are the standard array numbers?
So standard array is 13, let's see, it starts from the top. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8.
Nice.
Which is rough. 8 is a nasty dump stat.
8 is rough unless you have like a plus to something. Then you can balance it out into a 9 or a 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And do you want to explain how the ability scores work, or?
Honestly, we'll go over it earlier in the session.
Okay, sweet. So I was thinking, obviously, charisma. Makes sense.
Yeah, agreed.
And with the later down the road potential for utility, I think some constitution, dex, and strength is kind of important.
Yeah.
Dexterity raises AC, and because sorcerers are kind of squishy, having a relatively higher AC is pretty solid.
Yeah.
If I ever decide to take him into a, punchy guy, if I want to hit people, I was thinking 15 at charisma, 14 in dex. It's 13 strength, and then 12 con.
So 15 charisma, 14 dex.
13 strength, 12 con.
Strength and 12 con.
I was going to take my mid, my 10 in wisdom, because he doesn't seem unwise, but he doesn't seem like a super wise guy. He's not a monk or anything.
And obviously intelligence is low.
Intelligence is the dump stat, but I do get a +1 from my tiefling. So he's a 9. He's not an 8, which is great.
That is a bonus.
And then instead of having 15 on my charisma, I have 17. Which puts me at the +3.
We like that.
We likey.
We like high charisma. Okay, cool.
Equipment, basic equipment that it gave me. I just went through, chose equipment. If you, depending on what you think, he's looking for money. So I wouldn't necessarily say he needs extra funding from being rich or whatever, but however you'd like to run that. I know from the inheritor, there needs to be some level of he has a thing.
Right.
Is that the thing that we talked about in our backstory that he inherited, or is it something else?
That is up to you. I think either way it could work. We also need, because in this campaign we are using magical focuses. Everyone needs a magical focus to cast.
Right.
Or you're casting through your body, which could be detrimental to your health.
Right. Yeah.
So be thinking about that as well. Because we are starting at level 1, and he also is starting at scratch from losing all of his stuff.
Yes.
He should definitely have the lowest amount of stuff.
Yes. I can go in and get rid of any base equipment, weapons, or anything like that I need.
Yeah. He's definitely traveled a little bit, and we can say from where he is to where he's going, or the beginning session 1, he's gotten a little bit of stuff to survive, but he definitely doesn't have all the nice gushy stuff that he would have.
Yeah. Essentially, I chose the most simple. I chose a document, such as a map, a letter, or a journal.
I like it.
And he literally has a set of traveler's clothes, and that's it. He's a sad boy.
He's really sad.
he's a poor boy.
Okay.
I would assume maybe some rations, but
Yeah. Gotten some food from someone
yeah,
somewhere.
absolutely.
Cool. HP.
HP.
Have we rolled HP today?
Yes, let's do it. So that is actually in the class. So we go back to the class page, and I get 1d6. Ouch.
Plus your constitution, don't forget.
Ouch. 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 Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and roll.
Level 1, I'm telling you, that's rough.
That is not great. I'm gonna use my fancy red die here. So 1d6, and then I get a +1 from Constitution. So
At this table, when you're rolling HP, if you roll a 1, you can re-roll.
thank goodness.
Did you roll? What did you roll?
Oh no! I just dropped my die, but I've dealt with that before. You know, the tank character that rolls 1 every single level.
Oh my gosh, so awful.
So we're gonna go ahead and roll this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is so exciting. The first roll of the campaign. A 1.
Are you
Awesome. Cool.
Love
Cool.
that.
So
Cool.
we're gonna
That's
redo that. Okay, don't screw me here, man. Come on. Man up. Let's go. 6. Hey!
That's great.
Yeah, that's trash talk my dice. That's what I gotta do. I gotta be mean to him.
Keegan tends to roll relatively well. Sometimes on the occasion, it's a really, really bad roll.
Yeah.
But normally, you know.
Most of the time it's mid or high rolls. So yeah, I got max potential HP. So a 7.
Nice.
Woof. So essentially 1 hit from a goblin is my HP, which is great.
Do you have any armor on? Any natural armor?
I would say not right now.
Okay.
That can be something that we can kind of look into later down the road.
Okay.
With his spells, he'll probably have mage armor or shield.
Right.
I would imagine, depending on his level. But right now he's very, very squishy.
Yeah. And your movement speed is 30.
Yes, I believe so.
And because you're a spellcaster, what is your spell DC and spell attack?
Yes. So my spell DC, spell save DC is 13.
13.
Spell attack is +5.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
The modifier is +3.
Love it.
Initiative is +2. And my armor class is a 12.
12.
Yeah, not horrible.
No, it's not bad.
I think balancing the stats is really really doing him some good.
Yeah. Do you have any buffs or bonuses to your saving throws? That's what it is.
Saving throws.
Goodness
Do I have any
sakes.
bonuses? I don't know where I would find that.
Or proficiencies. So when you go back to your main page,
Go proficiencies and training.
you'll go back up to your skills and
Okay.
and then down at the bottom. No, sorry. Back at the top. It's the second page. No, it's the first
Yeah,
page.
I don't
It's
think
right
I
here.
have anything.
So you have a
Oh.
proficiency in Constitution and charisma.
So a +3 on con, +5 on charisma.
+3 on con, +5 on charisma. Okay.
I have dark vision out to 60 feet.
I have dark vision.
Yeah, thank God. So let's see, features and traits really quick. Yeah, dark vision,
Okay.
resistance to fire damage, and devil's tongue.
Ooh.
You know the vicious mockery cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
You can cast charm person once per long rest, and you can cast enthrall once per long rest. Charisma your spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
But right now, all I have is none of that.
Okay.
Because I have to wait until I reach turn level.
Okay, so we have a proficiency in, what did we say? Insight? And
Yes, and
intimidation?
Yes.
Great.
Charismatic.
Okay. That's all that I need for your character
Great.
sheet.
Sorry it was a little longer, but I had some backstory to kind of dig through with you guys. So
and we wanted to talk through a few things.
yeah, a few basics for you all. So the next guys in the party can be relatively quick.
Yeah. You happy with that? You have any other questions you want to ask?
Not really. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, I like to have my players have a Google Doc that we can update with information as we go, and all of my notes will go there with things that I learn about that character. And that's it for Keegan. Thank
Great.
you, V. Nice to meet you. We'll see you in session 1.
Alrighty.
Okay. Okay, up next, why don't you introduce yourself, how you know me, and then we'll go and start talking through your character stuff.
Yeah, I'm Heath. Just a normal guy.
Okay.
I met you at a game store
Yeah.
to play D&D.
Yeah. I was your DM for the past, 3 years? It's like
Has it been
it's like 2.5 year long campaign. It's been a long campaign. But sometimes I volunteer at a game store on Tuesday nights, and he's been a part of that game since almost the beginning.
Almost.
Yeah, but he's a great player. We're really, really happy to have him. And we're excited for this new fun character.
Okay.
So we're going to go through his basic character information, and you can talk about your character a little bit. What's his name?
His name is Theron Kairos.
Kairos. I like it.
He is a half-elf.
Okay.
So he's got pointy ears,
Mm-hmm.
but not super pointy like a real elf.
Got it.
He's got light tan skin.
Okay.
Shoulder length brown hair with a little bit of auburn in there if the light catches it. It looks a little bit red.
I like it.
From his mother. His mom is a full redhead.
Love a full redhead.
Yes.
If you guys don't know at home, I am a full redhead.
Yeah, he'll be portrayed as a warlock.
Okay.
The background of it's technically a custom background, but it's based on folk hero.
Yeah.
Just change some of the stat proficiencies.
Something I haven't asked you. What kind of half elf is he? Is he like a wood elf?
Yes.
Okay.
A half wood elf.
Okay.
Actually wrote that right there.
You did? Great.
Real paper.
Got it. Okay, so explain this background to me a little bit, the folk hero.
Yeah, so he's from this little place called Bareth's Hollow.
Okay.
There was a tragedy there.
Mm-hmm.
The whole town was sacked by bandits or something. He's not entirely sure.
Okay. When did this happen?
About 3 years ago.
Okay. 3 years.
Relatively fresh.
Okay.
During the process of that, his twin brother was killed in the combat.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And in an attempt to see how he was doing, check on his brother, when he found him, he picked up a sword from the ground.
Ooh.
And the smoke parted. He was bathed in blood red moonlight.
Blood red.
And some of the people from the town saw this, and there's a prophecy that's been going around that they feel this fulfills.
Okay.
So the folk hero part is he's kind of like the fulfiller of this prophecy.
Got it.
So for the past little while, he has been paraded around by some faction. I'd let you fill in that.
Yeah. Okay.
Since I don't know the factions yet. As sort of like their poster boy.
Right.
So
that's
what he's been doing.
Is it more of a religious faction or?
Sure.
I just
DM's choice.
Okay.
He's just kind of along for the ride.
Okay. Did you have any religious connection? We kind of went through the pantheon a little bit. Did you have anything that you wanted to connect with specifically, or more of just the blade?
Just sort of the blade right now. Whatever faction picked him up, he kind of plays along because he feels like that's what he has to do.
I like it.
But not raised religious. His dad was a blacksmith.
Okay. Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this little town. Human.
Right.
Yeah.
And your alignment. You said chaotic good.
Chaotic good, yes. Okay. Before all this happened, he was kind of like a party boy. He liked to drink, didn't take much seriously.
Okay.
Unlike his brother, who was very much like the studious one.
So you're pretty much like not the brother that should have had this happen to them.
That's how he feels, yeah.
Got it. Okay. I like it. Okay. I'm just taking notes to make sure I know what I need to do to make sure his backstory gets integrated into the campaign.
Yes.
And he has all the information he needs to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is there any questions about location? I know you said this small town, but is there like a specific type of place? You said a wood elf, so obviously near...
Yeah. Near forest. It wasn't a big town.
Okay. Do you want to look at the map?
Sure.
Okay. Because I'm happy for you to like pick where you want to go and then be there. Let me see if I can't get... Okay. Zoom in if you'd like.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it looks like a good wooded area.
There's a few really good wooded areas. Anything northern is going to be colder.
I erased it.
What did you... That's okay, don't worry about it.
I was just trying to move. I apologize.
No, don't worry about it. I do all of my maps by myself, all my hand-drawn maps.
And they're gorgeous.
Thank you. And I do them on Procreate on my iPad. So I've been handing around the iPad to show everybody so they can zoom into specific areas. But I'm going to get a really, really big map for the wall for this campaign.
This big forest.
This one over here.
Yep. Nearby.
Hold on. I wrote it down. Say Lauren is where you're at. Iriath. It's Elven, so that makes sense.
Perfect.
Iriath. Okay.
I knew that by looking at it.
I knew that by looking at it. Love that. At least you're bold. Okay, so Iriath. Anything else that you want to have character-wise within the location? Do you want to have any like specific culture? I know that elves are kind of hoity-toity snooty oftentimes, but you're half elf and you are half human, which means that you can have any type of culture or background information. Do you have like a wealth standard? I mean, your dad was a blacksmith, but if it's in a small town, a blacksmith could be one of the bigger guys.
It's pretty modest.
Okay.
He definitely leans more toward his human side. His mother was kind of aloof.
Okay.
And she left shortly after his brother died. Days.
That's sad. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Not sure where she is.
So that's good to know. I'll take note of that. I see that you've given me the prophecy, which I love. Thank you. I love it when people give me a little information. And then the NPCs from his past.
Yes.
Do we want to keep?
Yeah, the ones that are there.
Great.
Might be more in the works. I don't know.
Okay, I will.
That's the edited version too.
I like it.
Way more.
So NPCs on document, I will go in depth and make sure that they are sprinkled amongst. Okay. Let's look at goals, and then we'll go into your character sheet.
Okay, I have my goals.
Okay, I see that. Thank you. we're just a reminder, we're going off of long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. Let's start with your long-term goals.
He wants to fill this role that has been assigned to him to the best of his ability.
Okay.
That's one long-term goal. The other would be to rebuild Averith's Hollow as sort of a sanctuary for people that have nowhere else to go.
Okay. Like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with him being kind of a playboy, how driven is he going to be?
The major motivating factor right now is to live up to the expectations. So he's pretty driven.
Okay. So he's kind of putting aside the playboy and donning the brother. Interesting. Okay. Midterm.
Publicly perform a deed worthy of it's called the Flameborn legend.
Okay. So this is a legend that he, or like a prophecy that he would know.
Yes.
Okay.
Or at least what's been taught.
Right.
In his hometown.
Right. Okay. Next up.
Reclaim a ruined site near or in Vareth's Hollow to begin rebuilding.
Okay.
Then find and reconnect with his mother.
That's a good one.
Since he doesn't know where she went.
Yeah.
And then he wants to find like the original prophecy to see if it holds more information that he doesn't have. Because he sort of suspects that maybe the prophecy he knows isn't full.
Right.
So.
Okay. So with your midterm goal, the second one, the reclaim a ruined site near Vareth's Hollow to begin rebuilding, is that part of the faction telling him to do that, or is that a drive from within?
That's his own thing.
Okay. Okay.
The main one of living up to and performing deeds as is probably faction driven.
Okay.
At least as far as what's expected in that regard.
Okay. And then short term.
Short term, these are a little tricky. But
we haven't started yet, so it's going to be difficult.
Make a strong first impression as himself and not as the Flameborn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a really, really character-driven one. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then offer aid without expecting recognition.
Ooh. Yeah. So really, he's on a journey of fixing his own character.
Yes. Well, or at least feeling like he deserves the praise and stuff that he gets. Because he doesn't currently.
Got it. Okay. I like it. Okay. That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for character sheet, did you build out a character sheet?
I did.
That's fantastic. Let me come over. I have my little card that I'm going to fill out.
Okie dokie.
And is it on
D&D Beyond?
D&D Beyond. Unashamedly throwing that in there. Keegan also uses D&D Beyond, but I know a few people are only going to use the paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will eventually use the paper. This was just...
Yeah, you're good.
For now.
Yeah. You use whatever you want to use to make yourself comfortable. Okay, so we already have race, class, alignment, and level. Let's go through standard array.
Okay.
So with your class, race, or species, as they now call it in 2024, what bonuses do you have to add? So in the edit character?
Yeah.
So on class, does it have anything added to it that gives you bonuses for your...
Not from a class.
Okay.
Race it does. Species.
Species it does?
Yeah. It's wisdom and constitution each get 1.
Okay.
And charisma +2.
Okay. And then go to your ability scores. And we already know what the standard array is. So what have you decided and how you want to organize this?
Yeah. So an 8 in strength.
8 in strength.
Yeah.
Great.
12 dex.
Okay. 12 dex.
15 constitution.
15 con.
10 intelligence.
10 intelligence.
13 wisdom.
13 wisdom.
And 14 charisma.
14 charisma. Okay. So do you have proficiencies in any of these?
Yes. Some of them.
You can go back to your main page. I just wanted to know your extra stuff from your
proficiency in deception.
In deception. Okay.
Investigation.
Investigation. Okay.
And performance.
And performance.
And persuasion.
And persuasion.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then for your saving throws, do you have any proficiencies in those?
Yeah, wisdom and charisma.
Wisdom and charisma. What are those numbers?
+4 and +5.
+4. +5. Awesome. Okay. So do you have well you have magic, obviously, which means you probably have a spell DC and a spell attack.
Yes.
What are those?
That's based on charisma.
You have dark vision.
Yes.
At 60 feet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spell attack is +5 and save is 13.
Okay. What's your initiative?
Ooh, probably not great.
That's okay. Better for me.
1.
+1. That's not bad.
It's not terrible.
Your movement, I'm guessing, is just 30?
35.
35.
Got it from his wood elf mom.
All right. Love that. HP. Let's roll HP.
Oh, we roll it? I thought in first level was just max.
That's that what I said?
I don't know. That's what D&D Beyond did.
That's fine with me because Keegan rolled max. So.
Oh.
So what is your max?
11.
11. So you have a plus what to your constitution?
3.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yes.
Okay. And your AC. Do you have any armor or anything that you're wearing?
Yep.
Okay.
And AC says the 17. So
what
that's
bonuses do you have?
scale mail.
Scale mail?
So scale mail is 14 and then
Your dex.
yeah, I think I'm only +1 and then he has a shield.
He has a shield.
Just a standard shield.
Okay. So it's without the shield, it's
15.
15, and then we'll add 17 with shield. Okay, cool. Any resistances or anything? You obviously have trance.
Yes, against being charmed. And magic can't put me to sleep.
Charmed, all that jazz. I hate that about elves. Ugh.
That might be it. I think that's it.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the mobile version.
Okay. And is there any nicknames that your character wants to go by?
Nope.
Nope, just Theron?
Theron, yep.
Theron. Okay. I like it. Okay, are there any questions you have for me?
Just more information about whatever faction has attached itself to him.
Okay. Just writing down your name and stuff so I can put you on the board. Okay. And I love this. Sometimes, well, most of the time at D&D tables, they have assigned seating, but that's all their own thing. Mm-hmm. They just decide to pick a seat. And I have a feeling it's going to stay that way from where everyone just sat down, which will be fun.
I always sit closer to the DM because I'm old.
Because I'm old. Well, how old are you? You're not that old.
I'm 40-ish.
That's not bad.
I'll be 40 soon. Soon enough. Probably by the time this airs.
Are we going to celebrate?
Want to?
We should. We definitely should. We'll have Copper make a cake. Okay. They would love that, I'm sure.
Black velvet cake.
There you go. For your black soul.
Right. No, 40. You're supposed to have all black decorations.
Oh, really? Is that
because you're over the hill.
I thought 50 was over the hill.
I thought it was 40.
Okay, I could be wrong,
I
honestly.
Also could be wrong.
Well, that would make...
Maybe the times have changed.
Okay, so faction details.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull your thing back up. Okay. So, I've left a lot of things relatively open-ended because I wanted to make sure that everyone had the information that they needed. So, you're probably going to come from a more elven-directed faction. A lot of the elves do follow the deities, which is kind of a bonus for me. Nice. But a lot of times it's not like I only believe in this one god. It's more like I follow this god. And the other gods exist, but they don't really intrigue me as much.
Gotcha.
So, let's see. Looking at your sword, what specifically does the sword look like? Do you have an idea?
It just looks like a pretty standard sword.
Okay. Nothing special.
Other than it talks to him sometimes.
Okay, great. Let's read is it okay if I read the prophecy out?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. When kingdoms fall and darkness nears, a flame shall rise to calm all fears. By God's anointed sword in hand, he walks to heal a broken land. No tyrant's crown nor royal name, but born to bear the sacred flame. The chosen light, the fire blessed, shall rise to lead, and none contest. Let ash be gone, let peace remain, the flame born comes to end the pain. This is the true prophecy. Okay. Sorry, I was reading on. Okay, I like that. It's very like, See, Flameborn makes me think, obviously, the Ember Queen, because she is like flames and such. But there are other deities that have kind of that leaning towards. So I'm thinking, let's pull one of them up. I like, and your alignment is?
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
Or good neutral at worst.
At worst.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back over here. So, Ignis, the Ember Queen, is chaotic neutral or neutral evil, depending on interpretation. Also known as the, She Who Burns, Lady of Ash and Flame, the Blazing Heart, Mother of Fire, Genasi, and the Scorching Crown. Revenge, passion, forge, destruction, lava, fire, anger. I don't feel like that is really like Wood Elf. So let me see what we can find a little bit more further down here. I like the concept of Leora, the Radiant Muse. The Crimson General is the god of war, valor, conquest, strategy, and courage.
Mm.
And he is... His tones are really, really like red. He has his symbol is 2 crossed weapons, often a sword and axe, a broken chain behind them, and a red banner waving above.
Mm.
He kind of has this fiery, sense to him, and he looks very orcish, but with like the elven ear. And he's his Raiden child is kind of delicate looking, but very muscular. She's very interesting. I kind of feel like the Crimson General could be interesting.
Okay.
But war is kind of like very direct. But valor and conquest makes sense. And courage makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Courage would definitely be a good drive. The other one would be Bellum the Star Keeper. It's very elvish in nature. He's the god of stars, constellations, space, prophecy, wishes, and celestial magic. He's kind of quirky. He's kind of weird. Very, very weird. His domains are knowledge, twilight, and arcana. Symbol is a star encircled by a ring of constellations. I kind of like Bellum.
Okay.
He's very vague, and I feel like that character would work well. And with the elves, I think it would work extremely well. So it would be kind of like a quirky faction. His names are the Celestial Warden, the Wishbinder, the Silent Light, he who charts the sky, Starfather, the Veiled Compass. Do you want to see a picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of fun looking.
Yeah. Oh.
I know.
I like that.
Very intriguing.
Yeah.
He's very like aloof. Let's see. Bellum is the eternal observer, seated beyond the reach of mortal world, yet ever watchful. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think that's what we'll go with.
Okay.
Tenets of faith. So this would be kind of important for the faction. So the sky holds memory. So stars are the keepers of the past and guides the future. Wishes are seeds, planted with intention, watered with action. Ooh, this is perfect. Truth shines quietly. So loud voices miss the wisdom found in silence and shadow. Fate is a constellation. Sacred, but when connected, reveals meaning. Look upward, walk forward. Let your path be lit by wonder. And then the worship rituals that the faction would have would be like the Night of the Fallen Sky, which is a sacred vigil during meteor showers where worshippers speak their wishes aloud to Bellum. Another one is the Star Path. Pilgrims walk stone paths marked with constellations, meditating on destiny and alignment. That would go really, really well with destroyed such.
Mm-hmm.
The Silent Prayer. Wishes are never spoken twice. Once said under starlight, they belong to Bellum. And then the last one, like a ritual and worship, constellation binding. So tattoos are rituals where a person adopts a constellation as a personal guide for life's journey. Tattoos are really, really big under Bellum. He has his own and such. Let's see. Personality. Let's see. Followers and clergy. So followers are astronomers, dreamers, oracles, travelers, wishmakers, diviners, and navigators. Temples often built on mountaintops, observatories, or floating islands open to the night sky. Clerics wear deep blue or violet robes, embroidered with constellations, and carry star-shaped pendants. There's a few relics of Bellum, and let's see. Personality and appearance. Often depicted as a tall, cloaked figure woven from stardust and nebula, face hidden by a constellation-shaped mask. Eyes glow with ever-shifting galaxies, and his cloak contains the night sky itself. He kind of has a white face, like pasty white, but with constellation nebula across one side. His eyes glow gold. The rest of his body, the gods don't really like wear clothes. It's kind of just like part of their being. He does have a very white cloak, but his body is like a constellation in the night.
Cool.
He speaks slowly and poetically, sometimes not at all, but his silence can carry prophetic weight. He's kind, distant, but deeply invested in the balance of the cosmos and the dreams of mortals. I can give you more information on him. I can send stuff to you specifically, but that's kind of the basic of Bellum. And I would say the faction holds relatively tightly to his quirkiness, but also his wisdom and silence. And I would say it's very thematic, where there are some people who are like, I follow this god, but it's like, I can wear whatever I want. These guys would be very like, no, constellations, stars everywhere. So it'd be interesting to have like on the pommel of the sword, maybe like a star constellation, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we can play around with that a little bit. And then the faction name. Did you?
I did not. It was like brackets that said insert here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what we can come up with. The Asterion Covenant, the Starlit, the Vaultborn, the Pale Orbit, the Celestine Veil. Oh, I like that one.
That was the most fun to say.
The Celestine Veil. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Let me copy and put it onto your thing. I use a lot of Chat GPT when it comes to coming up with names, because if I overdo it, I get kind of distracted, and then I start doing other things. Action. If I can spell. There we go. Okay. Any other questions? We got some faction ideas. I'll flesh some more stuff out, but this is a good beginning for session 0, and I can build off of it and maybe build a little bit of a an area for you in that forest.
Sounds good.
Okay.
The only other thing, the sword does talk to him, but he's not sure if that's just survivor's guilt.
I love how you just throw that in at the end.
I forgot.
The sword talks to him.
Yes.
Okay. Does the sword talk to him, or does something in the sword talk to him?
He's not sure.
Okay, so the sword just talks to him.
He doesn't know if he just feels guilty.
Okay.
Because he wasn't where he should have been when the town was attacked.
Where was he?
He was passed out.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's about our 30 minutes. Maybe a little bit under. Anything else you want to ask?
No, not right now.
You have any... Okay. Be thinking about... I should have told Keegan this, but be thinking about how and why your character is going to the festival. Now, remember, the festival is... I haven't told you guys the festival yet. Once I do kind of the introduction to to session 1, be thinking about why you want to have your character be going to where you're going, just so that we can be cohesive. It's not going to be start out in a tavern. That's kind of gitchy, and I'm sick and tired of it.
Right.
Okay. I think that's good. I'm happy with that.
Excellent.
Let's break, and why don't you send down Copper or Caleb?
I get to choose.
See which one wants to start off. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Alrighty.
Okay. Up next is Caleb. Caleb, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then also how you know me.
Hey, I'm Caleb Hone. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 5-6-ish years.
Ooh.
Ever since COVID.
Right.
A little bit about me. I'm fun-loving. I enjoy being outdoors, but I'm just as much a computer nerd. I have a terrible memory, but for some reason, Dungeons and Dragons is one of the things that sticks.
Oh, that's totally fair.
I met a few years ago at a game store that she was starting a campaign in.
Yeah.
I was one of her initial 3 players, and from there I've just been pulled into a few other campaigns that she's been able to be a part of.
Yeah.
So now I'm here.
Yeah. Kind of like baked in friends.
Kind of, yeah.
It's been like 3 years, so. Okay, let's start talking about your character. So,
Heck yeah.
Why don't you introduce them by name? Then we'll go through race, class, background, alignment, and then we'll go into a little bit more of the fun stuff that you have planned. This is another fun one that I'm really excited about. I mean, I'm excited about all of them, but this one has some quirky little bits that I'm stoked for.
Yeah, I've heard some really interesting stuff get thrown around, especially a back screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be playing a character named Ophirin. He's a satyr, and he's going to be a monk warrior of mercy.
Warrior of Mercy, yeah.
Yeah, the new 2024 one.
Which can be fun.
He'll have sort of a hybrid soldier-hermit background with a lawful good alignment. And do I just launch into the backstory?
So the soldier-hermit kind of will go along with the backstory, but he started off as a soldier and then went into the hermithood. And with his monk, he's going to be super, super cool and powerful, but he has a kind of a disability, which is going to go up into the backstory a little bit. So explain the backstory. You don't have to read through it. Just kind of go through Spark Notes and then explain your senses and stuff that we're going to go through.
All right. So for his background, he was initially sort of a middle, low class, very much struggling family of herbalists in a rural town led by a kind of tyrannical ruler, local lord. A lot of the men in his village got drafted into the war, the civil war that happened in the empire.
Right.
And he did not serve terribly long. I believe I wrote that he'd only been there like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And he decided to desert after seeing some particularly horrible things. So he returned to his home village, and unbeknownst to him at the time, he brought sort of this curse, disease, virus hybrid with him. And so it's this magical disease that turns the magic within a body into this crystal that grows off of bones. He served as a magical scout of sorts, and so a lot of his magic was focused on seeing, and thus this magical crystalline growth will disrupt his eyesight. So I'll be playing a blind monk. This disease, he manages to infect his small town, and unable to be healed because of its unique properties, they make their way to a monastery known as the Resounding Hand. This particular practice focuses on self-healing through the body, and they were able to prevent the curse from growing as rapidly as it was. With that being a short-term solution, though, he's set out to find a cure and potentially discover the origin of this curse. I threw out a couple of interesting options, but ultimately I've wanted to leave this to the DM so that it's a surprise, just as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Part of this disease that the monks have helped him work through is being able to see and be competent in spite of this crystalline growth taking over his eyesight. And so we've sort of discussed a unique sort of tremor sense that comes along with it, but it'll also come along with the disadvantage of being completely colorblind, and not being able to read, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
For those DMs out there, I oftentimes allow players to tweak things about their character, especially if they're a good player who tends to play their disabilities really, really well. I always encourage players to find something that their character is not good at, find a shortcoming, a downfall, and pronounce it in their gameplay. And Caleb has always been really, really good at that, if not the best at it. And I'm allowing him to have this awesome tremor sense, which is modified for this character, because I know that he's going to play it well, and I know he's going to have fun with it and create something very unique. So that's why we're allowing some fun stuff. And having a blind character is always a blast. And this cool curse I get to play with a little bit. Bio-warfare concept in the war of the history can play a big part in the actual campaign play. So I love when players come to the table with ideas that I can, sandbox play with myself.
I kind of just sent it all out over Discord, and I was like, I really hope she likes this one because I liked it.
I always love your ideas. They're always so fun and quirky. And I love when you play a satyr. So when it comes to race and satyr, I love the backstory. I love the concept. I just want to make sure that it makes sense that a satyr is going to be in this world. So let's flesh it out a little bit. Let's find out where you're going to be from. So do you want to be from the main continent area, Feyloren, or do you want to be from somewhere else? Obviously, we have
Here,
this
and you're here because
Fey
of a
type family thing, but that doesn't mean you have connections to the Feywild.
Yes, my thought process was more of a mortalized satyr, where they're part of this world, not necessarily directly tied to the Feywild.
Yeah, maybe like a distant relative, and they've kind of lived here for a while, kind of like an Irish family who's lived in like Chicago or New York for 3 or 4 generations. They still hold fast to those things, and they're still Irish, but they're Irish American. Remember that concept? Cool.
I'd even considered the possibility of just sort of recessed traits of a satyr.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. Similarly to how we're doing the tieflings. Do you want to look at the map, see what you like, and see if there's any specific location? There's grasslands, there's forests, there's open wide areas. Feyloren is the main one in the middle, but to the west I wouldn't do anything to the west. Let me just clarify. To the east you could, but it is much more like deserts and sands. And
I'd like to stray away from deserts and sands because that was very much the theme of my last satyr.
Yeah, it was. I totally forgot. Oh man, Azir was such a good character.
Is there a good place that has a mix of forest and mountain?
Yeah, for sure. Anything on this border here is going to be great. This is a little bit more elven in nature. This is swamp and marsh. Either side of these would be really, really cool for a satyr. I would say here or here.
I think swamp would be great.
Swamp would be okay.
Southern side of the continent.
Great, love that. Keldrathis is the closest, like, larger city, but the swamp itself has its own kind of community and such, similar to like a New Orleans has its own culture and everything outside, but it's still the United States. Great, I like it. Let's do Swamps of Feyloren. I'm pretty sure I have a name for them. Let me look into my notes here really quickly.
And the continent is not small, but just relatively small enough that they could traverse as a large group.
Yeah.
Sort of a pilgrimage.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
We have Briar's Reach or Harrowmere.
What would be the difference between those two?
It's just on either side of the canal. So Feyloren is Briar Reach, and then Harrowmere is on the Icelwind side of the channel.
Let's do the
Briar's Reach?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Briar's Reach. Let's put that into the character information. Oh, that's big bold letters. Okay. So for anyone who's not in the room with us, I'm just updating our Google Doc that we shared with a little bit of information so that we can update stuff as we go. Okay, I love it. So now we know where he's from. It makes sense, the satyr thing, and the swamp is going to be fun. It's going to be like a fun balance to the crystal. Yeah, it's going to be great. Okay.
I would very much love to integrate it into that.
Yeah, I love it. That's going to be really, really a blast. Let's go over goals.
Yes.
And then we'll go over character sheet, and then we'll be done.
I'm actually proud of these, but I'd love feedback.
No, I'm so excited to read them. Okay, let's see.
This was my first time reading the book, and so I wanted to create the character with the goals first.
Yes.
And so I came up with a concept. I found a song that inspired me.
Oh, I love that.
Along with a audio therapist.
Okay.
Aunt. And
cool.
Just a general love of Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, of course.
And that all sort of accumulated in this inspiration.
Of course. I love it.
So for long-term goals, I wanted to find the true nature of this curse out and bring a cure, if any, back to the monastery or the refugee camp near the monastery that my family lives at, so that my family, friends, and all of the other people that are infected, but slowing the spread of this curse,
right,
can also be healed.
I like it.
very selfless motivation. And the second one was my master within the Resounding Hands, the faction I'm from, changed my life, and so I'd like to join the monastery as a fully fledged practitioner by beating trials for each of the inner sects within the Resonating Hands as sort of a qualifier.
Resounding Hands, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had it correct. Okay, I like that.
I keep using resonating and resounding interchangeably.
Yeah, you're
so
good.
My apologies.
You're totally fine. I like it. Okay. That's a really, really good long-term goal. Okay, midterm goals.
Midterm goal, I'd like to find and meet with 3 to 5 knowledgeable, powerful, or well-connected people or sources who can offer meaningful insight into either the nature of the curse or the groups of people responsible for it.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good intermediary goal to work towards in that discovery. And we can flesh out how that interprets into the game later. I'd like to maintain a relatively anonymous profile to avoid any situations of being recognized as a wartime deserter. Because there's a lot of backlash I could potentially face from that.
Right.
And I see him as sort of being drafted into the losing side of the war. And so it's enemies on both sides. And the third midterm goal is taking opportunities to continuous training just throughout the campaign.
Great. Martial arts, healing, diplomatic conflicts. I like it. Okay. And then short term.
I'd like to earn the trust of allies who can help cover for potential weaknesses, especially not being able to read.
Okay.
I plan on playing into the blindness very much.
I'm excited.
I'd like to take on smaller quests to build wealth, reputation, and connections, anything that would be needed to befriend influential people who can help me.
Okay.
I'd like to invest in a well-trained mount because, as I've learned, blind people have a really hard time getting around.
As you've learned, I love that.
I've talked to a few people who...
of course.
But that just feels like a necessary goal if I want to be traveling a lot.
Yeah. Is it something that you want to come into the campaign having, or do you want to find one?
I think it'd be interesting to find one.
Okay.
And the last one is not to die, which feels obvious, but for him that's important.
Yeah, that's super fair.
Because you can't cure a disease if you're dead.
Yeah.
And the second one is don't kill humanoids if I can help it.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'd like to stray away from just the generally peaceable monk.
Right.
But I want to lean into the resounding hand philosophy of the importance of life.
Yeah. This is getting, I'm getting a lot of Daredevil vibes from this.
Oh no, I found out.
I think you might have just made, you know what? Matt Murdock is what I'm getting from this, but it's okay. No, I love it. I love it so much. I think this is great. I think you're really, really fleshed out. Backstory is good. You have enough information that I can filter it in and enough that we can build off of it. Make sure he has a last name for sure.
Yep.
And then, do you have any other questions for me?
I do have 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing is I'd like my character to be able to explore alchemy.
Alchemy. Okay, I like
so if
that.
we want to bring in some sort of crafting system.
Right. Okay.
Especially one that wouldn't require reading, potentially, just learned.
Okay.
That could be interesting to explore.
Okay.
And I would be interested in entering the campaign with that.
Okay.
Because as a healer, I won't have any healing capacity from my subclass until level 3.
Okay. So what type are we looking at? Like more druidic alchemy or more of like a alchemical?
Definitely more herbalism.
Okay.
Sort of lean into that swampy, naturistic vibe.
I like it. Okay.
Sort of remnants of teachings from the Feywild, potentially.
Right. Let's...
We can talk more about
let's dig a little bit
specifics.
deeper into that over Discord so that we can make sure that it's playable.
Yep.
And then anything else with backstory and lineage and everything, we can talk over Discord. But I think that this is a good basis for session 0, and I'm happy with it. Do you feel like you want to have any connections with other players? Or do you want to be separate?
I would be interested in connections.
Okay.
But I'm not quite sure how to go about that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like it. Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We have Copper at the table.
Hello.
Why don't you introduce yourself, Copper?
Hi, I'm Copper. Not too much about me. I'm a very creative, artistic person. I do a lot of cooking. Any art form I can get my hands on, I will indulge in. My current passion and hopefully career is jewelry.
Yes. Amazing jewelry. Amazing cook, but like amazing jewelry as well. I love everything about you.
Why,
Please.
thank
I
you.
love you. Can I be you when I grow up?
You can try.
You can try. I love that. I love that. Okay, so
Yeah.
we've talked with the past three guys, and they kind of have characters fleshed out. You have two concepts.
I do.
So why don't you do just a general like overview of the two of them, and we can figure out what you want to play.
All right. So I'm going to go a little deeper into the backstory than I've shared a little previously.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start with Ewan Blood Williams. Grew up a part of the Empire, raised in a small town close to a lake. Very fun, very kind, healthy childhood. You know, not a lot of trauma there.
Of course.
Ironic for D&D characters. They're usually chock full of trauma.
Yeah, why not?
But anyways, it was revealed through his childhood that he had some capacity for the arcane.
Okay.
And so his parents decided that we'd send you off to an arcane school to learn.
Okay.
However, the unfortunate bit that happens, well, fortunate, unfortunate, it put him forward. He met with a general who came to his town to give a speech about recruiting people and whatnot. Rousing speech, glorious, patriotic.
Of course.
And whatnot. Anyways, enthralled Ewan. And Ewan found a purpose and joined the army.
Okay.
The war continued, raged on, terrible war. The youth left his eyes, tragic. His squad, eventually the familiar faces became new faces, became familiar faces. He was able to get some accolades within the military, but never rose to any high ranks.
Okay.
However, during some off time, he was guarding the general that recruited him when he and his platoon of soldiers and whatnot bore witness to the general doing some shady shit.
Ooh.
It was unclear how shady or how long the shadiness has been going on. Anyways, him and his soldiers were discovered. A fight broke out.
Okay.
There was an explosion. Ewan awoke later after being rescued by a roguish figure by the name of Uma.
Uma. Yes, I love that name.
Yes.
Uma.
She is a roguish spy who, by all accounts, claims to be on the same side as Ewan.
Okay.
That is not my own knowledge of whose allegiance she has.
Sweet, sweet Ewan. Sweet, sweet Ewan. He's not aware.
Ewan. He's not aware of a thing.
Love that.
But Ewan is indebted to Uma and loves her deeply. She saved his life.
Yeah.
Anyways, through their talks, it was revealed that Ewan is presumed dead from this engagement.
Okay. Is the general still alive?
General's still alive and doing more shit and doing more shady shit.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
So they hatch a plan
Okay.
to expose the general.
Okay.
So Uma, through her more shady connections, are going to gather evidence, whereas Ewan is tasked with going to old war sites and old raid sites where battles had taken place, where they suspect the general had armies take out business competition rather than actual opposing enemies.
So they're attacking civilians.
So they were attacking. So he was involved in attacking civilians.
Oh, goodness sakes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Ewan was? Or the general?
The general was, and by connection, Ewan was also.
Right, because he was a part of... Okay.
Following orders.
Yeah.
He didn't know what was what. To him, from his perspective, we were taking out this enemy factory that was manufacturing weapons.
Yeah.
He's tasked with going to these places and figuring out, okay, was this an actual threat, or was this a civilian business that merely opposed the general?
Right.
Little backstory on the general. The general was a merchant before the war.
Okay.
Mid to successful merchant. Wasn't on the top of the food chain, but wasn't low down either.
Right.
But yeah, he is a staunch patriot, or that's what he claims anyways. Ewan, however, cannot hold a sword anymore. Anytime he holds a weapon, he's riddled with the memories of the war.
Okay.
And does essentially PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah.
And so any physical weapon that he holds kind of just shuts him off for a bit. So to keep him sort of in the game and to reconnect with his childhood, Uma gives him a spell book and some basic textbooks of magic.
Okay.
They're likely stolen from someone.
Yes, of course.
And so Ewan cobbles together his own foundations in magic.
I like it.
And so Ewan goes on this adventure to discover what dealings the general has done and to perhaps rediscover the whimsy of his childhood through magic.
So we're talking wizard.
We're talking wizard.
I love it.
Both these characters are going to be wizards.
Okay.
Because that's something I'm familiar with playing and something I'm comfortable with going and can do with confidence.
Yeah,
anyways.
which we love.
Absolutely.
What is Ewan's race?
Race, I have him as a tiefling.
Tiefling, right. Which I love.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, the tiefling lineage is much more of a fae than a demonic.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify. Still, same general concept.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense for fae, and we're not doing as much of the demon side in this campaign. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. Okay, I really, really like Ewan. I think he's really fleshed out well.
I know. I really like him. And he's a little bit of a grump at first.
Okay.
But once you get to know him, you are my family and I will die for you.
Yeah, of course.
And I will kill for you.
Of course. So he's definitely a soldier.
Definitely a soldier boy.
Do we have any other background concept, or do you just want to go straight soldier?
Honestly, for him, straight soldier.
Okay.
Makes the most narrative sense for me.
Okay.
That's who he is and a lot of where his identity is tied up in.
Right. Okay. And then alignment, obviously lawful.
Lawful good.
Lawful good.
Lawful
okay.
good.
Lawful good. We love a good lawful good boy.
Lawful good boy.
Okay.
I also, the idea that Uma could betray him at some point, it just tickles my brain.
Ooh, yes.
In like a terrible, but like, oh my God, this would be a very good roleplay moment, but this would be so bad for you. And I'm sorry for the trauma, but think of the moment.
Yeah, I totally get that. Okay, so with Ewan, we're looking at being a part of a war that has recently stopped. But on top of that, do you want to be a part of the emperors or kind of a separate king?
I think
because the different factions have different.
There are different factions.
Leadership and different military.
So I think Ewan, and by extension the general he served under, was a part of like the emperor reasserting dominance.
Okay.
They're the quote unquote winning side of things.
Yeah. I mean, they did end up winning in the end, but it wasn't about conquering the others. It was about rebuilding everything. So looking at the map, the capital's down here, a little bit closer to, hold on. Eldaris, which is that elven area. But this is the capital, a big palace and everything. You have a relatively large lake and area. But most of this area right here is going to be a part of the capital's main land.
Okay.
So you would probably be from around this general area.
Okay.
These cities are obviously closest.
Yeah.
This is more of an elven forest. And then these guys vary in range, but anything within here would make sense.
Okay.
You can make up a name of a city, or I can assign one to you. That's up to you. But if you're going to be a part of them, it's probably where they would pull their own soldiers and such.
Gotcha.
Or, crazy concept.
Yeah.
You can be from somewhere else, having joined the capital, depending on how old you are, having joined the capital guard before the empire fell in this revolution.
Oh.
It's up to you.
I don't quite think they're that old.
It's I would say that's 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be before that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to say they were like 15 years old when they joined the war.
Ooh, 15 when you joined. Okay.
Yeah, and that was about like halfway through the war.
Okay. So 7
is the kind
years.
Of years. Yeah.
So 22.
So like 22, 23.
22 or 23. Okay, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's quickly add that. Okay, so that's Ewan.
That's Ewan.
Okay, what about Micah?
So Micah Allen.
I love that.
Absolutely. So a little bit of, I guess, context is Micah is the son of a character that I played in one of your one-shots. Do you remember Playa Flames?
Yes!
The Ninth Heretic from the New Year's one-shot.
That was I loved that character. Okay.
So yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So again, premise of that character is I was a devout cleric of a god. I found a way to access divine magic without going through a god, and essentially subverted the god's power, and was deemed a heretic because of such.
Right.
And is now religious enemy number 9, as there were 8 other heretics before her, many of which have died, gone inert, or hiding, or are some other degree of public or silent.
Right.
So that's backstory on the mother. So coming back to Micah, the fun thing about Micah is he was raised with his dad on essentially a cattle ranch. This is Dungeons and Dragons. This is fantasy, so cattle could mean a lot of things.
Or it could just mean cattle. Like,
or it could just mean cattle. But anyways, so that's kind of where he grew up. Highlands, cattle ranch.
Yeah.
The thing is, from early on, Micah had an affinity, to say the least, to fire, inherited from his mother.
Tiefling, correct?
No, Goliath.
Goliath. Why did I think Tiefling? Oh, I love that. Okay.
Well, the dad's Goliath.
Okay.
As well. So that's where that comes in. So like half Goliath, but like mechanically it'd be a Goliath stat block. But anyways, so what I want to kind of happen with this innate affinity is kind of a little curse scenario.
Ooh.
Or that's kind of how it manifests.
Okay.
My initial idea was to give it like a werewolf scenario kind of a thing, but if we want to workshop that, we can. But like at certain points of distress, damage, or astrological signs, they would essentially morph into a fire elemental.
I love it.
And go on a little fire-induced rampage.
Yeah, why not?
It's fine.
Fire elemental, I love that. Okay.
But, being on a farm, that's not exactly conducive space for a raging bonfire to roam about.
Nope.
It was agreed upon that they would ship Micah to a wizarding school so that they could get diagnosed, they could get checked, they could get treatment, they could get a cure.
Interesting.
So they meet with a bunch of wizards and to try and get this figured out, but none of them have answers.
Right.
So we go through magic school because we got to get some control over this. We can mitigate this. We can take little potions. We can subdue the curse. We can
conceal, don't feel.
Conceal, don't feel. We can treat this. We can treat the symptoms.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Elsa, who?
What?
We're just gonna swap the color palette and be fine.
I love it. I love
But yeah.
it. I love this. Okay. This is fun. This is a fun character.
I like it too.
Okay.
But anyways, so he begins learning magic to help control what this curse brings and whatnot. Anyways, time goes by. You're learning through this. You have a connection with one strong teacher in particular who has different opportunities, which I'll get to in a minute. But a new wizard rolls up and says, "Ooh, I'll take a look at this conundrum." Because at this point, Mike is a conundrum, not a person.
Right.
But yeah, and figures out that this curse is tied to lineage, tied to blood. So instead of being some twist of fate, this has a cause. And the cause is his mother. They don't know what to do about that, but more information's more information.
Exactly.
And so Micah begins consorting with the locals to figure out what happened to the 9th heretic.
Interesting.
And tries to track her down.
Okay.
In doing so, he gets a lead. They get a lead, which would pull them away from school. So again, this one magic teacher has an opportunity. We have a program anyways, for you to go to sites of ancient magic, ruins, places of collapse where no one's there anymore. It's ruined, it's old, it's dust, but there's signs of magic there. So we'll get you your wizard diploma, etc. If you go and catalog and reconstruct as much as you can of these ancient magics as like a thesis paper.
Interesting.
So he uses this as an excuse and interest to track down his mother for answers on the curse. And that's where that character is.
I see the connect. Okay. I like both.
I know.
I'm kind of leaning towards Ewan.
Yeah.
I think that he's more fleshed out, but also more cohesive
Gotcha.
with... Well... No, yeah, I think he's more cohesive. Especially with, like, the history of the world. I love Micah, though. You should definitely play Micah.
I definitely will find a good table to play Micah, and I don't think it'll be this table. Though.
I don't think it's this table.
Love Micah, and I will save the juicy story for another time.
You should.
But I believe Ewan is what we're going to play with.
I think Ewan makes the most sense. I think he fits. And it's got some fun little quirks and
It's got some fun stuff to him.
Which I like.
One thing I do like about him is he's self-taught. He doesn't have a strict arcane tradition, which I may ask you about if we can cobble together based off the books Uma gave him and whatever books he finds out in the world, because that's going to be one of his goals and whatnot, is to gain more and find more magical knowledge. Is with his arcane tradition, could I like pick little bits from different subclasses?
Remember that subclass that I created? Not that subclass, sorry.
Oh, the School of Magic? That's kind of the idea behind them. Either that or I was going to go with Graviturge.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the Chaos.
I think Chaos Magic would make the most sense.
Would make the most sense.
If you're teaching yourself based off of a book rather than learning from someone else who is learned, there's so much more room for learning it correctly. Or
there's so much room for interpretation.
It's like learning math without the rules.
And to mess stuff up.
Yes.
There's so much chance to mess stuff up.
I love that.
And I think it's a wonderful role play element, and it could cause so many problems.
I love it.
And it could solve problems.
Yes. And you get to play one of my homebrewed items.
And we get to play one of your homebrewed items, which the minute you told me that, I'm like, oh my God, this sounds awesome. This is Ewan's shit. I love it.
Good, good. Okay, I love that.
I know.
I'm really excited. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Do you have goals in mind?
Goals for you. Let's see. Long term. Long term. Bring the general to justice.
Okay. Let me hold on. I'm gonna add them onto your thing.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna write them down here too.
Okay. So let's take long-term goals. So bring general to justice.
Bring general to justice. Okay. That devolves into gather. A midterm goal would be like gather evidence from specific sites to build a body of proof against him. This can be like, oh yeah, I know this place, or Uma could come in and say, hey, there's this thing over here that I need you to go do for me. And we get a little like quest giver NPC there to help kind of push narrative for him, which I like. It gives you a narrative tool to give my character an incentive to do shit.
Right. Okay. I like it. Okay.
Let's see. And then another, I suppose, I feel like it falls into midterm, is study magic.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I think that's a long term.
It's a long term, but yeah.
Because he's coming up with a new...
It's his own...
life direction.
Yeah.
Study magic. And maybe a midterm goal for that is to figure out how to control the PTSD.
Yeah. Because that'll play a point with stuff, especially if any of the spells trigger like great amounts of sound or other things like that. I remember in the brief I gave you, put a little blurb of like, these are some things that could cause PTSD.
Yeah, love that. Thank you.
So if anything kind of mimics that, definitely.
Yes, for sure. We'll keep that in mind.
Address PTSD.
Okay. So study magic, control PTSD. Any other long-term stuff?
Any other long-term stuff?
Does he want to...
I feel like repay his debt to Uma.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Any more midterm?
Ooh. I'm not quite sure, because that kind of pushes in what he's currently involved in. Right now, Ewan's sort of profile is, I need to lay low a little bit, and I need to get to these places, because I'm presumed dead right now. And if the general were to find out that I'm alive, that could make things really messy.
I like it.
So anonymity is kind of his friend right now. So
I like it.
Would that be a midterm goal to retain my identity?
Are you trying to retain your identity, or are you trying to
conceal?
Okay.
Conceal identity. I guess it's a midterm goal.
Yeah, it's relatively midterm. Those are good. Honestly, I don't think we need any more short term. We can come up with some stuff as we go. Lay low and travel is a good short term. I'm happy with those.
Yeah. I really like that because that sets him up to travel. That sets him up to explore stuff.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So.
Do you by chance have a character sheet put together for Ewan?
I do not have a character sheet put together.
Neither did Caleb. I'm going to have you guys work on it upstairs while I finish up with TJ.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to processing through all that stuff off.
Okay.
Off on our own, either on Discord or in person or something. Okay.
All right.
I love you, and I'm really, really excited.
I'm really excited for
you. Do you have any questions for me? You're more than welcome to come later with questions, but if you have anything in person.
There was a god that you mentioned that I feel like Ewan might have some devotion for.
Okay.
Was it I don't remember what it pronunciation of it. It started with a V.
Virulin?
Virulin.
The Blooming Path?
Blooming Path.
The goddess of justice, harvest, youth, fairness, renewal, and seasons of growth. Yeah.
I think going into the war, Justice, he grew up with a strong sense of morality from his parents and whatnot. That contributes to him being lawful good. That contributes him to his sense that, I need to fight for people.
Okay.
And whatnot. As well as I think that could lead into maybe some more of his growth and healing going forward.
Okay. I like it.
But yeah. If you could just send me like a little brief about her and whatnot so that I can kind of, okay, what would some like rituals would he do for this?
Mhm.
And just add more little role play
Yeah.
elements to him.
Oh, I love that. Especially because a wizard usually doesn't have a deity, but
Usually not.
it can be a draw for like heritage for sure,
Oh,
or culture. Religion
Mhm.
is very cultural for sure. Okay, I will send you some stuff for Virulent. Let me write that down in my to-do list because
Awesome.
I've got one going. Okay. So we have Ewan. Oh, okay.
All right.
I love it.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, this is TJ. TJ, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is TJ. It's good to be here. I've known Maris and Keegan here for several years now. We've played in multiple campaigns together,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very excited to be beginning another one.
Yeah, TJ's been to Thanksgiving at my house.
That is true.
And we've done a whole bunch of stuff.
Your
here.
family really kind of took me in when I moved.
Yeah.
I kind of moved here on my own, and y'all really kind of took me under your wing.
Yeah, we kind of
so,
like you, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, good.
Okay. Well, you said you have a few ideas that you
Yes.
want to flesh out, and one honorable mention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't want to mention this one in front of the others, but yeah, I've got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
I like all of them, but I wanted to kind of collaborate with you to get a feel for the world and see kind of where they would fit in.
Cool.
I could spin the bottle on them right now, and I think I'd be happy with any of them.
Okay.
But I was hoping that this would give a little bit more gravity to the decision,
Right.
as far as which way to go.
Okay. We'll start with the first one
Mhm.
and do a quick debrief. Name, race, class, background alignment, kind of basic information, backstory, and then we'll go to the next one.
Okay. My first one is a human fighter.
I love it.
Yes.
Go
What
for
more
it.
do you need?
Classic.
Yes. Background is probably going to be soldier.
Okay. We got a few of those, by the way.
There are a few. Well, it makes sense from what we know of the campaign
Yeah.
so far. Like, because the nation's been at war for
Yeah.
15 or so
Mhm.
years. We honestly could have included in the backstory creation, where were you in the war?
Mhm.
Did you serve? Where
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But and possibly farmer. If we need to decide that too today,
Okay.
we can. So human fighter. Going to be a strength-based fighter.
Okay.
His motivations. Is that what you wanted to do next? Was
Yeah, just tell me about him.
okay. He is from a part of the empire that was affected pretty heavily by the Civil War.
Okay.
So he would have grown up in kind of maybe a rural area or a village or a farm area.
Right.
So they would have caught a brunt of the negative consequences of these territorial fights. But as a small child, he perhaps maybe in the setting, the area where he lived had been reclaimed by the empire. So there were imperial troops came to liberate it or whatever. And maybe the empress at the time, maybe it's the current emperor, the young emperor's mother at the time, or
Mhm.
whatever makes sense with the. She came to do a goodwill morale sort of tour
Right.
to visit the troops, visit the wounded, visit the new citizens of the empire.
Right.
And so he would have, been excited at the opportunity to see her. He's never seen anyone like this before. So he catches a glimpse of her. He peeks over the wall or the fence or climbs up on the roof, whatever he has to do, and he watches her. And she would have been the most remarkable person he's ever seen.
Of course, yeah.
So that would have been like a powerful early memory. But with her, I picture her having somebody like a personal bodyguard, her own champion, and him looking at this guy and just being like, "Whoa, who's that?" And somebody being like, "Well, that's the Empress's champion. That's the best. That's the best warrior in the kingdom." He answers to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my young boy's mind, he's like, I'm gonna be the champion.
Right.
So he just begins training, and that's just been his kind of like fire, is that he just has this image in his mind of just being the greatest, rising and being the greatest champion.
Right.
So
I like it.
if he takes the soldier background, then maybe he joined. Maybe he joined the army whenever he could. Maybe he lost his parents in the war. I don't know, but or stayed on the farm and keep practicing, whatever we decide. But that's always been his dream, and that will be his kind of long-term motivation, is working towards that, of earning that, and his whole kind of life goal is just this perfection, this striving. So that's him, I think.
Okay. What's his name? Do you have one?
I was thinking of Garrick.
Garrick. Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what about the next one?
The next one. The next one is a cleric.
Okay.
It's cleric of the life domain is what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Either an elf or an orc. So some of my questions for you, tell me a little bit about where they are in the world, what they're like.
Yeah.
So one of those races, we don't, I think, from when last we spoke, have any of those in the party. So that could be an opportunity to bring a little bit of more of the world into the scope of the game. Cleric is kind of the class I've always really wanted to, I love the class, but I've never known how to motivate them.
You've played a cleric before, correct?
I have, yes.
When I played in Kalimshan?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes, I played a human Twilight Domain cleric.
Yes. He was fun.
He was fun. But he suffered from that where he didn't have any motivations.
He had any goals,
Yeah, he had a backstory that I really liked a lot. I really liked the character, but there wasn't
what's the
something
driving force?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I struggle with clerics for that. I think a large part of that has been obviously clerics and their deities. That would be a big part of it. Now, it feels like you've really put a lot of thought into the pantheons of this world. So maybe this would be an exciting way for us to kind of bring that into the game as well, having a character who's into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that would be a character that I think would be really cool. I think they'd be fun. They'd add a lot of value. It would just kind of come down to can we get them motivated? Can we
give a driving force?
Yes.
Because a lot of times cleric turn in, especially healers, they turn into just support. And support is really just support. They don't really have their own driving force, which I understand. I've played a cleric like that. It could be a tanky cleric where we could still have that tank on the fighter side, which could be really, really fun. Do you have any backstory idea for the cleric? Yeah,
I'm probably going to do the guard background and probably take the, I think it's called Protector or something with the new 2024 rules where you get access to heavy armor and stuff. So he would be kind of a frontliner. He would be kind of a protective person. And then maybe that would be a part of his background, would be just being a defender, a guard of sorts.
I mean, could we mesh the two together?
The two character ideas?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I mean, this is just me throwing salami at the wall.
Please do.
That's a weird phrase, but a lot of people are like, wait, salami? Sorry, I didn't, throw Jello? I don't know. This is just me throwing stuff out.
Yes,
you
please.
let me know if you think it's meh. But you have two ideas that I really like, and that both could have a soldier background. Where maybe it starts out as this kid who wants to go out, be this champion. So they join the army. And they find that instead of being a great fighter, being the champion, they actually have a proclivity to healing and care. And they're on the front lines fighting and doing a great job training and being this amazing thing to maybe one day become this great champion. But they found, or other people have found out, that they're really, really good healers. And that's what they're getting forced into. And so the drive is to prove that not only am I a good healer, but I'm also a champion. It could be a driving force. That's two concepts. I mean, they're two characters. If you didn't have a background for the cleric as much, you kind of have something fleshed out for the fighter. Now, what was your third?
My honorable mention.
What was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention,
intrigued.
This may surprise you, is a paladin.
TJ, okay, now tell the audience why That's so
Okay.
surprising to me.
because
Oh.
because they're stupid and I hate them. Um,
Oh, that's
no,
great.
so, well, they're fine. They're fine.
Why don't you tell me how you really feel, TJ?
All right, the way I really feel about paladins. So mechanically, they're great. They're a tank. They get access to heavy weapons, heavy armor, martial weapons, healing, and they got a lot of charisma, so they can face it up. The reason I believe that I don't like them on a principle level, I think that they represent the worst aspect of humanity. The idea that I'm so right in my beliefs that I'm entitled to do violence on.
That's super fair. That's fair.
So but I think if you could, like any other class, if we could nail down a motivation or something, it would work. But
and
the
they're not
idea,
all like that. Honestly,
of course, yeah. And
but like the basic, it's like
exactly. That's the sticking point for me. But I think that would be an easy hurdle to get over, and I'm sure everybody can think of a million ways for that not to be the case.
Right.
That's just what makes me just like, ooh.
Dude, I love a good paladin. I do. And I like a paladin that throws you for a loop. Like, oh, you're a paladin? Oh, but they're like the worst paladin.
Oh, you're going to like this then.
Okay. Tell me.
The subclass that on surface he's an oath of devotion, but he's not. The party thinks he is, and he'll say that he is, but he's an oath of vengeance because he has the noble background.
Oh, interesting.
He was a noble. He had his family was prominent or influential or landlords of an area. When the Civil War happened, his family was loyal to the empire, but a lot of the people in the area who were not, the majority won out. They maybe sacked his family's estate. His family was destitute. And so when the emperor came back and kind of retook the area, part of the deal was that it was like clemency for those who had like wronged his family. It was like a bargain. So feeling betrayed, he swore vengeance.
I actually love that so much.
Yeah.
Watching you play a paladin might be the pinnacle of my life.
Yep.
Wow, man, all three of those is really, really good.
And that would be the thing. He would be a noble background, like I said, and just like he has got his in his heart. He has this is burning vengeance.
Burning vengeance.
Yes, that's right.
I love a good vengeance paladin. They're so fun. They're so fun.
Yep.
And honestly, Oath of Devotion is so boring. It's fun to play, but like mechanically speaking, it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't think it would be hard to kind of like paint over and just be like, make it out to be them. So,
oh, for sure.
I think that would be a fun. I thought that would be a fun rug pull.
That's interesting. Okay, what are you thinking?
Tell me a little bit about the place of elves and orcs in the world, if we can.
Oh, for sure. Let me pull up the map real quick.
Yes.
Okay, so Eldaris is the island of the High Elves. It's gonna be your hoity-toity, snooty High Elf area. A lot of the magic comes from there. You have a big elven council that comes from there. And on top of that, your normal elves don't come from here. They probably came originally from here, but your half-elves, your wood elves, all of that, they left a while ago. And these guys are really just the High Elves. Now, the Emperor and the High Elves are buddy-buddy. Rather, the Empire and the Elves. They trade power, they trade arcane, they trade knowledge. They're doing well right now. The Empire is currently run by a human lineage. It's like a variant human that the elves gave to them. Okay? There is a location so this is Eldaris right here. There's a location just northwest of the capital in Eldaris that is part of Thaloran, which is wooded elven area. Then you have Serathiel Haven, which is over here. It's kind of it's the Rivendell to like Lothlorien. So this is more of like a Rivendell kind of esque situation.
Okay.
It's a haven for elves, kind of an older location. Revensill Forest is up hold on, up here. I need to add it, but it's up here, and it's much more of a winter elf kind of. Then you have Rugarzakek, which is over here. Hold on, where'd it go? Which is just north, still part of this, but it's more orcish, and it's all more wintry. It's also Goliath, so Goliath and orc.
Sure.
Then you have Criglavishar Forest, which is over in the Kindrath lands, which is also orcish and Goliath. No, orcish and goblin. A little bit winter in the north, but they kind of take over. They have clans, which are Goliath clans. So these guys are in the north, and then you have orc and goblin in the south. This is no man's land. This is ungoverned, but by their own clan.
Are these regions within the Empire?
They're outside.
I see.
They fight with the Empire, but they also do trade with the Empire.
Okay.
You also have... Feylorin is going to be anything within this area, right? Oops, here. That's Feylorin. Then Isilwyn is here. Varanath is here, which is also suspicious. But they are big fighters against these guys, and they have a lot of different types of magic, considered more of a dark magic, but not really evil, just untoward, you know. But these guys right here, you're looking at a few elven woods, the Elven Haven. There's some elves down in the swamps. So Briar Reach is down here. There's a settlement of elves that live down there. Harrowmere is technically Isilwyn, but they agree on a lot of different things, and it's on this side. That's the swamps. A few of the kingdoms have elven kind of intertwined within them, and they're just kind of speckled around. So elves are relatively everywhere, but they do have like 2 large forests that they take over, 1 large island that is all their own, and then the haven is on the other side of the mountains. If you want to look at it.
Yes. This is a beautiful map.
Thank you. I've been working on it all week.
I just drew a line on it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So that's good to know. So you could. So it would be easy to kind of put in an elf or an orc. I was curious about like if we go with the cleric route, like the idea of the pantheon. In this setting, would a cleric be sort of beholden to one god? Or would they be more like polytheistic, where, you know, you kind of reach out to the one that you need? Would there be some that you would lean on more just based off of your domain? Tell me a little about that, please.
I would say clerics are definitely much more monotheistic.
Okay.
It's not that they don't believe in the other ones, it's that they only follow one.
Sure.
The other ones do their own thing. It's just like, I chose this one and this is my direction.
I see.
Most people are polytheistic, where they pick and choose from whatever. If there's an issue with the harvest, they pray to Verilyn. If there's an issue with the water, they pray to Miami.
Sure.
And, you know, vice versa. If there's a like a forest fire, they pray that Ignis, the Ember Queen, doesn't take their lands, and they pray for mercy. You know, like...
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It really depends on the situation.
Yeah, but as a cleric, you would probably have your...
You have your
main one.
Your one direction.
Would you have a direct... How intimate would that relationship be with the god? Would that be something where you've...
It depends on the god.
Okay.
There are some gods that are extremely intimate with their worshippers and their followers. And there are some that are like, you're there, and I'm going to give you random things, but I'm not really focused on you. It really just depends on the deity.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. So, if we go with the paladin, that's the one I've kind of fleshed out the least, because that was the one where I was probably not as sure about. But let's say if we go with him, having like a noble background, that probably wouldn't be too difficult to kind of plug in there.
Right.
Would it be an issue? Like, I don't even really know what that revenge would look like. Because I don't want to like murder the emperor and just completely pull the whole campaign down.
Right.
And the other players are just unsatisfied with that.
Right. That's very evil aligned.
Yeah,
which we're
yeah,
not
yeah.
Leaning towards.
Exactly. I don't know if I want him to necessarily be like the bad guy behind the scenes. I'm not trying to Emperor Palpatine the other players.
Okay.
And I guess we don't have to have an answer right now. But that wouldn't be a problem, would it?
I think it's just finding out what kind of vengeance. I mean, revenge is usually a hateful force. That doesn't mean that it has to be like, I mean, it's obviously all consuming for a paladin because it's an oath, but it doesn't have to be to the death. It could be making something right, like turning something right again. Like you wronged me, now you need to fix it. Or like asking for power in place of being wronged. I think we'd have to flesh it out a little bit, just because of how little the paladin is fleshed out. The other two are a little bit better. I would suggest, if you can't think of anything for the paladin, kind of off the top of your head, I wouldn't go with the paladin.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I know it's difficult.
It is, but.
Did you have an idea for the background for a cleric? I know I kind of swooped you up in my...
Oh, no. And so I was, it's funny you said that, because I was kind of two minds. One of them was even like level 1 in fighter. And then like something happens in the game where he's just like, oh, you know, I'm a cleric now. Oh, is that you, Lord? And just burning bush out in the wilderness or something.
Yeah, why not?
And just, so that's one way. But the other way is to just pick my orc or elf or whatever, and he's just a cleric, and I would just pull him from kind of maybe the culture of the orcs or something. He was it just circles back around to that big question of like, what does he want? What is the thing? Which has just always been my hang up with clerics in general.
Right.
Well, go ahead.
Why you don't have a cleric fleshed out as much with a backstory? So let's do that. So whether we pick cleric or not, let's just figure out something, and then I can help you with direction. I can help you with goals. Whether pick elf or orc. Which one are you feeling? Based off of location, based off of your abilities of an elf versus an orc. You could do half elf. You could do full elf. Orc. Half orc.
Okay. So let's try orc.
Orc could be clan based. They usually are. Now a cleric of an orc who's in a clan is going to be less of like a temple cleric. So that changes everything, right?
Sure.
Which can be fun, which might help with your ability to play a cleric. If we're looking at the deities, because a cleric usually picks one of them. And the life domain. Let's look at our deities who have the life domain here.
Yes.
Okay. Terra, the root father, the god of the earth. He is a life domain. Let me go down the line here. Vita, the life bringer. Literally the life bringer.
Yeah. Well, quick question. Because I know that we have our elemental deities and our prime deities, right? Which ones would a cleric pray to? Would those be separate pantheons? Would those be
It's
separate?
not really separate. It's mostly just like what type of deity. So the primes are much more of like the normal deities that you would have in D&D. The elemental are much more focused on like, they were the originals. They're more of like a primordial concept. They're not bigger and better than the primes. They're just kind of separate. They kind of do a different thing, but they do the same thing. They have a different demeanor and just a different essence, similar to like the primordials in like the Greek pantheon. You have Zeus and all those guys, but then you would have your like separate, maybe more raw form. That's those guys. Their character varies based off of which one it is, but their character is much more severe. The four of them than the primes. The primes are much more human in their character.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me keep going down. I think Tempest would be interesting. She's the timekeeper. the goddess of time, prophecy, memory, mother's future, fate, and cycles. Let's see what else we have here. Sorry, I gotta go down every single one. Virulin, the blooming path. She's lawful good, cleric of justice, harvest, youth, fairness, renewal, and seasons of growth. Leora would be more of a light domain than a life domain, but she's the goddess of love and beauty, which is fun, which could be interesting for an orc.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much all of your life domains.
Okay.
So Terra, Vita, Tempest, Leora, Virulin. I think that's it. They're mostly women.
Okay.
Except for Terra.
And orcs, elves, humans, they would all have the same sort of the prime deities, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all have the same deities. It's how they look at them
Okay.
and how they like decipher them.
That makes
Because
sense.
you can have a god that a druid would look at and say, this is a nature god and he's all about calm and growth and everything, but someone else would look at him and be like, oh yeah, Terra's the nature god, but he's also like the god of rocks and the forge and nature and life, and he's boisterous, you know.
I never thought about it like this, but that makes a lot of sense in a world where like they're polytheistic. Like there are multiple gods that do take active roles within the world, and like people would know who they were. They're even different cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense, actually. I never thought about it like that.
A lot of gods, I mean, looking into history, a lot of gods are really, really similar. Even like the Greeks and the Egyptians back in the day used to be like, oh, we just call that a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similar to that.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right. So what would a cleric of, let's say, for example, was it Vita, the Lifebringer?
Vita, the Lifebringer. She has tenets of faith, a few of them. She has worship rituals, personality, follows in clergy. Okay. Worshipped by midwives, farmers, druids, healers, craftspeople, parents, and fertility seekers. Her priests wear woven fabrics, often in greens, gold, and earth tones. Flowers, vines, or symbols of growth are common. In many temples, birthing pools or health forges are maintained as sacred spaces. Worship rituals, soul binding ceremonies, where celebrations where 2 or more people declare eternal bonds, love, friendship, family. The seed rites, worshippers plant sacred seeds while offering prayer for fertility, renewal, or healing. The flame of breath, a small eternal flame is passed during childbirths, blessings, or funerals, symbolizing the continuity of life. And then the Festival of Bloom, held each spring, celebrating life return with song, flower garlands, and ritual dancing around the bloom trees. She has 2 sons, Brenk and Nanatha. Nanatha is a Leonin, and Brank is kind of like a fairy type. He's elven looking with wings, very big wings, but he's a large dude. He's like 7 feet tall. She's really pretty. You want to see a picture?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
She's so pretty.
Yeah, that's great.
She's kind of fun. That's kind of her stuff. Tenets of faith, protect and nurture life. Wherever it grows, it is sacred. Creation is divine. Love is sacred. Harm only to defend and honor the cycle. Birth, life, death, rebirth. All are hers.
Okay.
So she's a little bit more of like that, again, very driven life bringer. Very focused on life.
Yes. Okay.
It could also be interesting. The life domain is fun. But with this campaign, the deity of death is, hold on, let me see what his name, Morose, the Death Warden.
Yes.
Let me show you a picture of him.
Please. Wow, he's pretty.
he handsome.
Well, this is approaching a cool kind of feeling here because like the idea of like that being such an integral part, especially in a setting where it's just been so war torn for so long. Let's hear about Morose.
Morose is my baby. He's one of my favorites. I love him to death. He is the first guardian and final guardian, the one who greets souls at the edge of life and leads them down the path of the afterlife. He's not cruel. He's much more kind. He is simply eternal and unwavering, like the setting sun or the changing of seasons. His realm is one of twilight and stillness, a place where ancestors wait, rebirth is pondered, and memory is sacred. Tenets of faith, death is not an end, but a threshold. Honor the death and the dying. Undeath without purpose is blight. Grieve, but do not cling. Balance must be preserved. He often appears as a tall, morose figure, cloaked in twilight or falling leaves. He's very melancholic. He's very, just welcoming. He's a welcome friend at the end. He has sacred creatures, owls, bats, moths, crows, ravens, bone serpents, and glow-eyed deer. Followers and clergy. His priests wear dark turquoise, soft grays, or deep greens, often marked with keys, feathers, or hummingbirds. Temples are cryptic, like sanctuaries, peaceful and still, often built around sacred groves or ancestral gardens. He really does... Everyone would think that he would be this dark figure.
Yes.
But he's very secretive about who he is, and he really balances out Vita a lot. They actually get along quite well.
Yeah.
Because she brings life. It's not that he takes it, it's that he cultivates it through to the end.
Well, this brings up kind of a cool, I think, dynamic, and that like to really appreciate life is to appreciate how precious it is, how finite it is, right? And that comes with just an understanding and an appreciation of like death, right?
Yeah.
So that could really lend, I think, some gravity to the character. Well, for one thing, I could just do a Twilight cleric instead by the sound of it, and that would thematically fit. But the idea of balancing, like a life domain cleric who follows the god of death, like it's kind of a cool thing there, isn't it?
Yeah. You would think death domain, but honestly, with this type of deity, it would work out really, really well. Because, I mean, it's not just death. It's afterlife, decay, rebirth, ancestors, silence, and memory.
Yes.
It's all about those things.
Yeah,
So.
that fits a little bit more neatly with, I think, the kind of direction as far as like the background and the race I was thinking, where he's going to be like possibly an orc. Yeah. I think of them as being very sturdy and strong.
Yeah.
Thinking like a guard background, like this guy's he's a warrior, right?
Yeah.
So Vita feels, I like her a lot, but I was having a hard time picturing where that would kind of fit together.
Terra is interesting. That one was the first one I thought because of work. The root father, he's jovial. Terra is said to have been born from the first handful of soil scooped from the void. His laughter shook the mountains into being, and his footsteps seeded the world with forests and flowers. When mortals first appeared, he welcomed them like children, teaching them to farm, build shelter, and find joy in labor. Unlike the distant or aloof gods, Terra walks amongst his worshippers, often taking the form of a broad-shouldered man with a bark-like skin, mossy hair, and dirt under his nails. He tells jokes, offers shade, and listens patiently. His temples are gardens and open groves, often with no roof because Terra likes to see the sky while sitting in the dirt.
Oh.
He doesn't care for formality, offering of food, planted trees, or a good story shared beside a fire are more sacred than any grand ritual. He's got great tenets of faith. Followers or clergy are called sons and daughters of the root, often older, patient, and laughing easily. Clerics might wear green and brown with soil-stained hands and a little care for ceremony. Some are powerful geomancers who can shape stone and awaken forest to protect the innocent. He's a really, really, really fun one. His tenets are grow with patience, build with care, give more than you take, stay grounded, laugh often, especially at yourself. So that could be interesting if you want to go completely away from like life or death.
Sure.
But it's up to you.
Yeah, and that would fit well, like do like a farmer background, do something a little bit more earthy.
Exactly.
Right. So there's some really good ideas here. I just still don't know what these people want.
Well, we can come back to it.
Yeah.
Or we can continue to flesh it out.
Sure.
With an elf, with an orc of the cleric domain, let's say he grew up in the north, but not too far in the north that it's cold. Just north enough that it is harsh winters, but it's also relatively good summers. And he grew up in a clan that didn't focus as much on fighting, and they weren't as integrated into the fight and into the war, and the Civil War itself. Maybe what happened was someone came up and said, sorry, like, we need soldiers. and you're a part of this area. We just need a few of your guys. And you were one of them, and you're like, I'm a healer. I'm kind of a pacifist, but I can heal, and I can bring life to this. That could be interesting. That could bring you south. You could come into it like you have much more hold and stance. Rather than like a farmer, you could come into it as like I am a cleric. I am driven to not only be the best cleric, but to make sure that everyone understands the importance of life and death. That after this war, it was disgusting to my people. Like the bloodshed was awful. And I need to reconcile their lives and teach that war is not the answer. Something like that. I mean, there's so many directions if you want to go. Anything sparking anything? Or I mean, classic human fighter.
That may be.
Do you wanna sleep on it?
Probably so.
Okay.
Probably so. But you've given me a lot. Like you've given me like several of these like the deities alone. Honestly, having those fleshed out better makes the idea of playing a cleric very exciting.
Yeah. When you have someone fun to follow rather than just a concept.
Yes.
It's a lot easier.
Yes,
You can
absolutely.
have heart behind it.
Absolutely. So these are all very good. So when do we want to have characters completed by?
Everyone's pretty much completed their characters. So for you, let's say 2 weeks.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Great.
Absolutely. I could have it done by then.
Okay.
Cool. So I will put thought into it and probably show up with something completely different. I'm probably going to show up with like a halfling bard or something. Just kidding.
Hey, listen, I love a good halfling bard. Make sure you have name, race, class, background, alignment, and then generally where you want to be from. If you want to be from the Empire itself and you're like, this is kind of the area I want to be from, but I don't know where the names are, let me know and I'll just put a name on it for you.
Yes.
Same thing with the deities. If you need a deity or you have any questions, you want to go through any of the other ones, let me know. If you want to scrap it and start over, that's totally fine. Just keep me posted on it.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk over Discord. Like,
yes.
At any time, let me know and I will always have my phone.
Same to you. I mean, and knowing like kind of having an idea of what everyone wants to do. Oh, and I'm 1,000% okay playing a character that lets you like bring stuff into the world, or that is exciting for you as well, because like I think that's a big part of just the fun we're all gonna have.
Honestly, every single character is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
They're not too much of a main character that it'll be fighting for the spotlight, but it'll be just enough that everyone will have their own day in the sun.
Yeah, I just know you've got a ton of material. Just
I do.
ready to go.
But this is sandbox, remember.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't get to, that's
That is
totally
true.
fine. This is all about making sure that these characters are getting played the way they want to get played, and then finding direction into the unknown. So.
That is true. Well, cool. I will finish up my character as soon as I can.
Yeah, you let me know.
Yeah, and if you think of anything else that might be relevant, please don't hesitate to reach out to me as well.
I will do that. Let's just stay in contact, and let's get the rest of the team down here to finish out the session.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you, Maris.
Thank you guys so much. I had a blast with each and every one of you. I'm really excited about these characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. For those of you who need to finalize things, do it within the next 2 weeks and get back with me with that information. If you want to send me a copy of your character sheet, make sure your backstory has all of the information you want it in there. If there's anything that needs to be changed from when we talked tonight, please let me know. And I'm down to clown. Okay, so we are going to do the setting intro, and then we'll finish off for the night. Okay? Thank you. The worst of it is over, or so they say. The long shadow that blanketed the land has finally begun to lift. War, plague, families torn apart, and dark things whispered by firelight. All are starting to fade into memory. The world still carries scars. Gosh, take it, Keegan. Keegan Jones! I'm gonna have to start over. Okay. Oh my gosh. Fix it post.
It got very quiet and awkward. That's the perfect time to start eating chips.
That was the point.
Eating chips. Yes,
Okay.
perfect snack to keep folks recording.
Okay. The worst of it is over, or so they say. The long shadow that blanketed the land has finally begun to lift. War, plague, families torn apart, and darker things whispered by firelight, all are starting to fade into memory. The world still carries scars, but now it dares to smile again. And nowhere is that hope felt more than in the city of Dawn's Reach, the capital. Built where the morning sun first touches the coast, Dawn's Reach sits at the southwest corner of the Valoran Empire. The city is prepared for its grandest celebration of the year, the Festival of Renewal. A 5-day event marking the anniversary of the day the civil forces finally made peace, and when people first believed the light might return. Pilgrims, performers, nobles, merchants, and wanderers from every corner of the realm are pouring in, eager for music, color, and a little forgetting. And you, for reasons all your own, are amongst them. And that's where we're going to leave our characters for now. Thank you for adventuring with us here at RollCraft, where every session is a step deeper into the world we build together. Whether you're here to play, learn, or just listen in, you're part of this journey, and we're glad to have you with us. We'll see you in the next chapter. And that wraps up another exciting episode of RollCraft. Keep rolling those dice and crafting your tales long after our mics are off. If you enjoy the journey, don't forget to share it with your fellow adventurers and join us next time for more rolling and crafting.